welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another edition here of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16, day number 2. I'm of course your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to a very special tournament, a tournament that is designed to prop up, to showcase, and to bring you all the rising stars in StarCraft 2. Here we go. Again, we did cover day 1 last week. Again, we're coming back on a weekly basis. I say we, it does depend. Sometimes it's going to be us here on the CranKy Ducklings, sometimes Steadfast, Chicken Man, Wardy, some of the other casters out there as well. For the time being, we are stepping in to fill in the role of covering this tournament, at least for the first 2 editions, for the first 2 days. Again, these matches are played on a weekly basis, and now we are back coming into that second broadcast of OSC. Let's go. When it comes to the matches overall, last week we had 10 best of 3s. It was crazy. We had 10 best of 3s back to back. Here we have 7 best of 3s ready for you, all in one broadcast. Likewise, when it comes to the bracket, let's have a look together. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. It's a massive bracket featuring so many players, and no one has been eliminated yet. Bearing in mind, it is double elimination. From the top, you can see last week's matches. We covered Art versus Jumy. We had F2 Click versus Art. We have Shameless versus Art. We had Inexorable, Sebestes, Hydra, Percival, Sig as well, Mindo VK. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we are featuring Moja, Mini Zerg, Baby Marine, Night Phoenix. We had a lot of matches we covered last week, and essentially we're coming in to wrap up the first round of the upper bracket. Bearing in mind that if you're a fan of some of the players who got knocked down, some of the big names like Shameless got knocked down, Inexorable got knocked down, Eva got knocked down, Night Phoenix got knocked down. They're still in this tournament. They're still in the lower bracket. You can see here we have the lower bracket matches. They have still not been played out, of course. They're going to be played out in the near future, but the lower bracket is still here. We still have so much more of the tournament to go through. Bearing in mind, every single series is going to be casted, which is why it takes so long. It's going to take a couple of, maybe like 2 months to get through the tournament, maybe around 2 months. But here we're going to be featuring the remaining matches here in that first round. We have HonMonO versus Papi. We have Hatsu versus Mixu. I believe we're going to be covering the winner of Hatsu and Mixu up against Nickrat, the winner of HonMonO and Papi up against Art as well. Scrolling down, UD Soldier and Demi. Winner goes up against YoungYakov. I believe we have Jumy versus Baby Marine as well. So a lot of these matches, a lot of these first round and second round matches that have yet to be played out are going to be featured today. Going to be featured here today to wrap up the first 2 rounds of the tournament. Oh boy. Up first, we have Mixu and Hatsu. We have a rare matchup that I feel like we only ever get to cast in big tournaments. Like we ever have a big event where we see Solar versus Shin, for example, at DreamHack Dallas, or Solar versus Shin again, or Solar versus Serral at EWC. I feel like we only ever get to see them in these big tournaments. ZVZs are a rare side outside of that, so happy to jump into a Zerg vs Zerg matchup here and now. Let's go. Let us go. So we have our first matchup. We have our first best of 3. Also, to all those in the chat, welcome. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Shout out to Baby Lings who got the first Quacker. Shout out to, I see Psychons, I see MW as well. Bienvenidos, as we are jumping into our first best of. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Lem. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Hatsu. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZVZ. Oh boy. So Mixu coming into this is going to be the favorite player for sure. We do have a slightly different opener here, going for an extractor trick. Mixu opening up hatch first. Hatsu going for a standard hatch gas pool setup. So our openers are going to be settling in, and we'll see what Hatsu brings to the table. Hatsu is going to be coming in as the underdog, and often we do see some cheeky all-ins and some cheeky builds. So I'm looking forward to something more quirky out of Hatsu. Mixu is willing to shake things up. I don't know if Mixu needs to, but is willing to nonetheless. So far, we're just getting into our openers, getting into our gas guys, just getting into our setup. course, working on Ultra Love. Ultra Love does have a shoulder rush distance by ground, so these early Ling Bane pressure, the early Ling Bane pressure, the early Roach aggression as well can hit even faster on Ultra Love, so that is going to be factoring in. That's may come into play in this match as well. It's a bit of a rarer side to see a more passive back and forth, getting into Roaches, getting up to 3 bases, maxing out, and getting into Roach versus Roach. That is a rare side, but at the same time I say that, I'm typically covering a lot of the Korean Zerg players, where they're very much so in each other's faces. I'm assuming that's going to be the case here, but we'll see. We'll see. They get you out of the shot. Quack, love you, quack. Oh, bum dia to Doom. Bum dia. But yes, yesterday we were live with the RSL qualifier, and I went straight to, fun fact, yesterday I think I slept, yesterday, Saturday, I think I slept a solid 12 hours. Went to bed, I just did not wake up. Did not wake up. It was good. I can't remember the last time I've slept this long, like 10 to 12 hours. I was just out of it. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. That's my sleep for the week. That's no. Now back to full-time casting. Let's go. Bearing in mind that later on tonight we do have the podcast. That's going to be this evening. We'll be live at the podcast. Till then, we have our OSC tournaments. So far, we have our Baliness here out of Mixu, getting a third base. Everything's looking normal. Getting a third base, getting his Baliness, droning on up. Hatsu behind this is going to be skipping her Baliness. Okay, we're taking an extra gas, guys. Or extra gas. We're rolling up on 2 bases. We're going into what looks to be 2-base Roach. Now, technically, we could go into a faster lair and go into 2-base Muta. You can see Mixu trying to get a scout in the lair. Oh, gets in. Yeah, Mixu does barely slip in. It does get a full scout. Does confirm no lair, also does confirm the second gas as well. Without there being an earlier lair, with link speed being skipped, this does look like Roach play. Otherwise, the lair would have already been on the way to get into Spire and get into Mutas as quickly as possible. As the lair is just now being started. Is being started after the fact. Technically, it's possible that Hatsu wanted to actually preserve the lair until after the Zergling had been killed. Also possible. Just to avoid the scout. But we have range on the way. Again, more indicative here that we're committing into 2-base Roach. Getting into range. Mixu is droning up. And it's going to be up to Mixu to drone up to somewhat saturate the third. Not oversaturate. You don't want to oversaturate. Bearing in mind, there's a very high chance that Hatsu's going to turn this into a 2-base all-in. So you don't want to over-drone. You want to saturate enough to maintain an economic lead over your opponent that's playing 2-base. And then out-macro them. Getting into a greater Roach army. This is the hope. Well, Hatsu getting into 1-1 upgrades. We'll have that upgrade advantage. Black Quest will soon be getting into Roach speed as well. We got Roach speed is on the way. Roach speed is on the way. Mixu's doubling down. Getting up to 48 workers, droning up a little bit more here, getting up to 50 drones. I think this is kind of where you want to be stopping, at around 50 workers. As Mixu does have that economic lead. Overseer going in. Mixu needs to confirm there's no Spire. You can see here going further behind the mineral line, making sure there is no Spire, there are no mutas. Now skirting back around. We have a third EVA chamber. That might be a bit of a misclick there, as you already have 1-1 on the way. You're going for the changeling. Oh, right. She's going to kill the... Yeah, true. Never mind. Not a mistake. It is to break through... I didn't realize it was a full wall. Just a completed wall. So, third EVA chamber, just start +2. To get into 2-2 upgrades. And then move out. They didn't register in my mind that there was just no way out. We have link speed. That is a little bit odd. Getting to link speed here means that Hatsu's going to be able to reinforce with Zerglings. But the problem is, the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for Hatsu. Yes, we have the upgrade advantage, that is true, but remember, the economy here is still far greater for Mixu, and Mixu's building up a larger army as a result. Upgrades are good, but the numbers and straight up supply here is better. So Hatsu is on a timer. The other reason why I brought up link speed is that because of link speed, it also means that there is no... I mean, that does cost an extra roach. Extra couple of roaches, and Zerglings are not going to be a factor in this fight. Yeah, has to back off, has to back off. The window is come and gone at this point. The window is come and gone. If you want to hit, if you're going to go 2 base all in, then you're going to be so crisp with this. There is no third, so Hatsu's being outscaled over time. Mixu is supply blocked. Mixu just commits. And just commits in, so it's forward. Gets some of the roaches, gets some of the ravagers, and yeah, Mixu, he will just overwhelm. Again, any kind of timing that we were going for, it's not there. Not anymore. No shots. Upgrades are on the way, but they're not really going to kick in, and with that, Hatsu will lose the entire army. Mixu goes in, GG gets called, and Mixu will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Solid response out of Mixu again. Didn't over-drone, didn't over-respond. Also avoided any kind of Evo chambers. Went purely vanilla Roach Ravager. And again, as the game went longer and longer, it was getting worse and worse for Hatsu. When you go for this kind of 2-base play, you gotta be fast, you gotta be crisp, you gotta be on top of that timing. Otherwise, you miss it. Otherwise, you miss it, and then that's it. That's it. It's miss it, then it's one and done there. When it comes to the opportunity to find some damage and to get across the map, GG. GG, well played. With that, we are getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Hatsu can bring it back. We'll see if we go for a different kind of approach, or if we tighten up our build and be more aggressive and more assertive. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the blue Zerg player, we have the Finnish Zerg. Oh, it's leading the series 1-0. It is Mixu. Oh, let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player going for the 12 pool. This is what we are here for. For the Platinum Heroes, it is Hatsu. Let's go. Let's go. As we do have our spawning pool on the way. Mixu once again is going for the Extractor Drake. It is going to be going for a hatch gas pool opener, but in a bit of a different manner. That hatchery. And we'll see how Mixu can react and can respond to this. When you commit to a 12 pool, oh, actually, my apologies, not just a 12 pool. We're going for a 12 pool into an early gas geyser. This is a lot more committed here. Okay. This is not a 13-12, bear that in mind, but this is meant to mimic a 12 pool and then catch your opponent off guard. Remember, a 12 pool is not an all-in. A 12 pool is technically a macro opener, where you open up, you want to get some damage done across the map, then you expand behind it. But with the early gas, it means that Hatsu's more committed. Are we going for the Bane Bust? Okay, drone moves down to expand. Again, with the gas income, we can get into link speed. Hatsu does move out. Does move out across the map. Mixu is now aware. Mixu spots all the Zerglings. And Mixu can fight for his natural. Zerglings have arrived. Link speed is on the way. Hatsu pulls out of gas, so we're not going for a Baneley nest behind this. Just purely link speed as a follow-up. And that is going to be a faster link speed timing here for Hatsu. Sure. Hatchery's under fire. Queens are on the way. Zerglings as well. And again, Mixu can pull the boys. And there we go. The boys are being pulled. We do leave 5 drones behind. And with this, Mixu can fight those Zerglings. Oh, he even gets us around. Oh my god. Crazy. Again, cannot fight head on. Has to be very careful with his control. Mixu pulling back. And Mixu's health. Yeah, Mixu at this point has held on. But remember, it isn't about the first wave of Zerglings, it's about the link speed timing. Link speed is halfway done, and Hatsu is not joining. Hatsu is massing up Zerglings, getting ready for a link flood. So we are massing up, we're getting ready. Hatsu has yet to reveal her hand. Until this moment, Mixu does what the reinforcements now knows. Yeah, Mixu knows. Mixu is now aware. Back at home, we need to set up. Mixu has been droning. Has been droning up. No spine crawlers. Of course, can still pull the boys. Mixu pulling back to the queens. Fights for... There we go. Does turn around. The queen does come down from the high ground. The hatchery is so low. Mixu's gonna fight for it. Link speed kicks in. Yeah, boys are being pulled. I appreciate that Mixu didn't go back into the main base. Mixu has maintained a very high drone count low ground to be able to pull them when need be. Speaking of, the boys are being pulled. One queen does not go down. And even though Hatsu has the greater Zerglings, I mean, now we're up to 3 queens. Yeah, we're up to 3 queens. The drones, they did not go down. The hatchery survives, and Mixu holds. Mixu holds on. Shuts down the all-in. Has a massive economy behind this. And didn't even invest into spine crawlers, which is what I'm most impressed by. No spines, later Bailey Nest. Just pure positional play, just ensuring that had the boys to be pulled, brought down a 3rd queen. Hide it back when needed to. Has a transfuse, and the single queen goes down. Very clean defense. Mixu lost what? 0 drone. I assumed Mixu lost 1 drone just because there's only 15 here on the low ground, but no, not a single drone went down. Mixu. And now it's time to counterattack. Hatsu is desperately trying to go into a Bailey Nest. Behind this has not been droning. We made 1 drone. There's 13 drones back at home. That there is no economy. Mixu expanding, getting a 3rd base. Now, technically, with some well-placed Banelings, it is possible here for Hatsu to overwhelm the Ling Bane of Mixu, to take a better fight, and to maybe get on top of the queens, maybe even get on top of the hatchery, but it has to these as Banelings, though. Yeah, the Baileys are not going to finish. Oh, some of them will. So the rest of the army is going to be zoned away. Baileys are finishing up. Bailings, they do trade. Mixu, does trigger the Bailing. Does rush past. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was confused for a moment there. As Mixu holds. Mixu holds on. Hatsu has to rebuild those Banelings. Behind this, Hatsu making a drone here and there. It's not a good time to be droning, but I mean, what else can we do? Let's Mixu defends well. Mixu defends well, catches a queen. Does catch Queen. Defensively, there are no baitings, right? There's just no baitings to defend, so Mixu could just overwhelm. Spine Call is on the way, that will help, but here come the baitings. Massive connections, gets into the mineral line. And GG gets called. Mixu will claim the series, and Mixu will advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Impressive performance there by Mixu. Very clean defense against the 12 pool with the follow-up Link Flood as well. Again, the Link Flood was like the twist to that build. The follow-up that was meant to catch Mixu with his pants down. But again, very impressive Mixu being able to pull down that 3rd queen. Even before that, kiting back when needed to, pull the boys when needed to. Didn't lose a single drone, didn't lose any queens either. Was trading out Zerglings, but these are trades that Mixu could afford. And Mixu even barely saved the hatchery as well. very impressive. After that defense, I mean, that was kind of game then and there. So GG, well played. Mixu does claim the series. Shout out to Hatsu, and again, Hatsu will be still competing in the tournament. Is going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, where Hatsu will have the opportunity to recover, to bounce back, and to have another chance in another series. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, did occur during the game, but a big shout out to HMoney007 in the chat. God, my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for the first time. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. I do apologize for not giving you a shout out during the game, but didn't want to take away from the game itself. But thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Aye. Good night, greetings. Manuel. Buenos dias. As we are getting ready for our next series, so congratulations to Mixu. Does claim the series and does advance on to face off against who? To face off against Nickrat, another Platinum Heroes player. Nickrat was patiently waiting for the winner of the previous match, and we have a Terran versus Zerg matchup. This one is going to be a little more competitive here. I would say that Nickrat and Mixu are closer in skill. I think I actually favor Nickrat coming into this matchup, but we'll see. We shall see as we get into game one. Game one is going to be on Maganatha. Let's go. Let us go. It's spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha. We have our blue Terran player for the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickrat. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself from land of Finland. It is Mixu. It's Cyril's firstborn. Let's go. As Mixu, he is here. He is returned, I should say. Nickrat well rested. Nickrat coming into this, when it comes to his TVZ matchup, he is typically very assertive and very aggressive. We have seen him go for some very interesting 2-base all-ins, like bio-base, like 5 to 6 Raxes, 2-base all-in with strong stun timings, strong 1-1 timings. We've also seen Nickrat embrace mech. Specifically, there is a build that he goes for where he rushes into BC, into Hellion BC to dive on Queens to overwhelm as well. But something that's important about both things that I just mentioned is that it's very aggressive. When he plays mech, he doesn't play this like slower form of mech. He doesn't play standard battle mech. Usually his goal is to hit fast, to hit early. When I say early, I mean like 2 bases. Despite that though, we're loading into Maganatha. Maganatha is one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground, aggression. It's a little bit more difficult to pull off here on a larger map like Maganatha. So is Nickrat going to go for that? Is he going to play standard instead? Nickrat, he can play standard. He can play up to 3 base. He can 8 ranks, of course, and try to play at a longer normal standard game as well. It's a little bit rarer from Nickrat, but it's definitely a possibility for him. He is flexible enough to play that style as well. You know, he's not like HonMonO. He's like, who's just, and we'll cast him later on tonight, but who's like pure cheese. No. He's not at that level. It's typically in your face. As CranKy moves out across the map. Just SCV scouting behind this, going for a standard opener. He is one to go 2-Rax Reaper, but not this time, not this game. No 2-Rax setup. Mixu moves out to expand to claim a 3rd base. Nickrat is here to delay. So nice delay. His SCV is on patrol, but a 2nd drone moves out, and Mixu will expand. There you go. Mixu forced to expand at the 3rd base location, at the triangular 3rd location, and the drone does get away. The drone from the left. Now, because the base that was taken, this does make it easier for drop play and for harassment to kind of bounce between the bases, referring to Banshee play or just drop play in general. Can be a little bit more awkward to defend. Likewise, the base is also more exposed. The base on the left-hand side has this ramp, has the high ground advantage. There's no such advantage here on the right-hand side, as there are multiple angles of attack with the center path and the right-hand path as well. So, just in general, just a more exposed location. So we'll see if Nickrat can make use of that. So it does pull away. Behind this, we do have a second. There it is. Second factory. Now, we did speak about how Nickrat, he's one to whip out mech. But to be fair, when we brought up the possibility of mech, we spoke about this BC-based opener where he goes BC Hellion, then into mech. Here, there is no starport, just going straight up second factory into the tech lab, into battle mech. Oh boy. Now with this, we're going into not Macfield accelerators, we're rushing into Blue Flame. So again, this is a more unique style, as it is much more common to go into Macfield, to go into Cyclone production. Here, for the time being, it is going to be Mass Hellion to try to catch, ideally, Mixu off guard. So for now, building up his Mass Hellion. Overlord Scout is denied. Mixu sees nothing. Going Lair first. Slightly earlier Lair timing, but Lair first here out of Mixu. Third factory is on the way. Jesus. Getting to his third factory. And we'll see when Mixu's able to piece this all together. So far, getting up to 6 to 8 Hellions is not... It's normal. Getting up to that many Hellions is normal. Is standard. It's upon seeing any more than that, 10 to 12 Hellions, then you realize something is wrong. Likewise, Blue Flame obviously is going to be a tell. This Blue Flames is almost done. There we go, finishing up in 12 seconds. Ideally, Nickrat, he does not want to attack anytime soon. He doesn't want to show his hand. So we have additional Hellions coming in. We're up to 11. Soon to be 13. More factories now getting to Macfield. Blue Flame is done, and he is about to reveal his hand. He's going for the dive. Yeah, he's diving in, going straight for the natural. Things are trying to move forward, but there's not enough Zerglings here. Blue Flame is revealed. We try to wall off, but too little too late. He gets into the middle line. Ooh, he does bust in. Once again, the Eva Chamber is denied. No, he gets in the drones. Get out of here. He tries to wall off multiple times, but he cannot get Eva Chambers. Drones are getting roasted, and we're not done. We're going further into the main. We're going further in. Drones are getting annihilated here. They're lining up as well. Oh my god. 24 drone kills. That is a critical damage. We're still not done. We're still not done. Getting up to 27. 27 drones going down. And behind this, we still have more Hellions. Nickrat, he's ready for a Link counterattack. If Mixu, he was forced to make all these Zerglings, Roach Warren is not yet done. It only just now began. Again, Mixu, he had no idea that it was going to be mech. And sure, he has all these Zerglings to counterattack, but that's what the Blue Flame Hellions are for. There's plenty of them. These Lings, they cannot get much done across the map. Nickrat, he's safe. Nickrat, he's safe at home, and he deals damage across the map. Behind this, still embracing his battle mech, building up more Hellions, more Cyclones, and Mixu is playing from behind. As Mixu, the Roach Warren is still on the way, still working towards +1 range. At this point, Nickrat, he doesn't need to dive into a mineral line. Like, right now, he's just focusing on creep denial. Like, Nickrat, he's already ahead, so just deny creep, play it safe, don't overextend, don't get surrounded. There is a chance here that if Nickrat goes too far into creep, the Ling Bane can come in from behind and we can land some good connections and clean this up. So Nickrat, he has to respect the creep, has to respect the Ling Bane. Behind this, double armory, double upgrades. Speaking of respecting Ling Bane, likewise, Mixu has to respect the power of the Hellions. Yeah, he bleeds out too much, and Nickrat, he can break through. At this point, he can break through. Meanwhile, Bailing counterattack, 16 SCV. Okay, let's go. 16 SCVs going down. Nickrat, he was distracted. To be fair, so was I. As Nickrat, he's pushing forward. Again, very nice run by. He's getting it. We're running out of Zerglings here to defend. Yeah, the lock-ons are brutal. More roaches is going to be going down. And this might just be too much. The damage was nice, but it feels like it's too little too late. It feels like he's already reached this kind of place where this place where he has an army, where he has an overwhelming force of battle mech. And he's done it. He has broken the base. He's broken the expansion. GG gets called. And Nickrat, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Mixu, it was impressive that he was able to counterattack, but he had already lost over 26. It was 27 drones going down. The damage was already dealt, and the army was already there. You know, it was too late. By the time he had already dealt that economic damage, it was already a massive force of Hellions, of Cyclones. And on top of that, because he had gone for that counterattack, there was that much less to defend back at home. And alas, Mixu, he was broken. He was broken, he was torn apart. With that, Nicorette takes the lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Nicorette showcasing mech here. He can play bio, he does often play bio, but now it's kind of opened the door here. He could play the same style, could play something different. We'll see if Mixu this time can scout. A lot of that previous game came down to scouting. Not even necessarily going into the bases to scout the production, but even having an Overlord in a main attack path to see the additional Hellions just to give Mixu a couple of extra seconds. Remember, a really crucial part about what happened during the first wave of aggression, during the first dive with the Hellions, is that Mixu, he was desperately trying to wall off, and he almost did. I want to say like there were like 4 different instances where he tried to throw down Evo chambers, and he barely couldn't in time, and he couldn't block off his main, he couldn't block off his natural. Again, if given a couple of extra seconds, there's a chance, there's a world out there where he would have walled off. For now though, let's go. Let's get in. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have our blue Terran player leading the series 1-0. It is Nicorette. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Finnish Zerg player, we have the red Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Mixu. As we get into this, oh, hello. Okay. We are going for a delayed gas geyser. That's crazy. Big shout out to Ponyo in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great ladder session, I'm assuming. Ponyo. God, amiga. Good to see you. I see in the chat, is this live or a restream? Live. I mean, the command already gave you a response, but typically I think in our 5+ years of casting StarCraft, I think we've had a restream once. We've had a restream once on this channel, so restreams are insanely rare on this channel. If you're referring to like a replay cast, if there is a replay cast going on, we will typically say so. In a sense, actually, I should emphasize, this is a live broadcast of replays, but we don't know the results. So technically, hold on. I'll add that to the title. Technically, which is why we can, gamba. We can gamba, man. We can gamba. Oh, did I actually open predictions? There we go. Jesus. I was so engrossed in the first game that I forgot. But yes, predictions are open. Predictions are open. You can place your bets. Less than ideal to have predictions open mid-series, but I'll do a better job of making sure they're open at the start of the series. Just a little bit distracted for now. 2x Reaper. 2x Reaper here out of Nicorette. But the way that OSC Rising Star works is that the players, they do host their matches ahead of time, and then they submit their replays, and then bam, we come in for a cast once a week. So once a week we come in to cover the matches that were played. Bearing in mind this event is going to last around 2 months, maybe 3 months. It's a big tournament. And the OSC mid-season playoffs are the same way. Just because there are so many matches going on. As hopefully we can, there we go. As the third base is going to be denied. Remember, Mixu, he delayed his gas. Remember, Mixu, he did open up with delayed gas, which means link speed is more delayed than usual, which means these Reapers, they have a greater presence than usual as well. Typically, link speed is a moment where these Reapers lose map control, and you can chase them down, but there is no link speed. We have the gas for it, but we're not researching it, so there's nothing to threaten the Reapers. Like, they're just free to do whatever they want. Oh boy. Yeah, the Reapers have free reign. Behind this, we have a stim timing on the way. We have stim in production. Factory as well. He's under fire. And this is just a really rough start here for Mixu. As he shouldn't lose the third base, but he has to fight hard for it. As the queens are getting low, this is going to impact the defense as well. Bearing in mind we have a very strong stim timing. We have a 2-1-1 follow-up here out of Nicorette. has figured out a way to free up time for himself by utilizing the powers of AI. True, it wouldn't take too much for like an AI to replace me, to be honest. I have too many catchphrases. Like I have too many sayings. Like I think we floated the idea of there being like a light soundboard, like ay ay ay, Pappy. Like not like this. The pants are down. I have too many phrases like that. You just soundboard it up. Like you're good to go. Ah, no. What's the other one? What's the other one that I've been saying a lot recently? I've been trying to cut down on There's one that happens when someone gets a good trade. I think you say massive pickup. I think I've been saying that a lot recently. Yeah. These little phrases. Soundboard it up. Oh. As we do see Lings collapsing. Let me find Lings speed does kick in. Let's go. Does kick in, does surround, does clean up the initial Reaper Hellion. This is nice and all, but remember, it's not about the Reaper Hellion. It's about the 2-1-1. It's about the stim timing, Pappy. Let's go. So a nice start here from, or a nice follow-up at Mixu, able to deal with that army. He's from here still trying to recover. We have the Evo Chamber on the way, getting to 1-1 upgrades, getting into Ling Bane. Thankfully, this time it is going to be Bio, but Nikrat, he is moving out. Here comes the move out, here comes the push. Brutal. Yeah, you go. Yeah, one of those. Ah. Okay, he does stim in. Sims in, catching out a couple of lords. Queen goes down as well. We spoke earlier how low the queens were. Getting 3 queens already. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Mixu just cannot engage. He has no banelings ready, and this is ending the game. This is just too much. He gets what, 5-6 queens? Every queen goes down. Mixu, he overdrone. He has 76 workers. Heavily overdrone. What? The pants were down, baby. GG gets called as Mixu drones up to 76. There was no ground army. There was no support, and we spoke about it. Again, it wasn't about the Reaper Hellion. It was about the 2-1-1, and it just straight up ends the game. GG. GG, well played. Nikrat will claim it 2-0. GG. A little bit of an abrupt ending just because Mixu, he was able to, for the most part, catch up. He was able to catch up, able to try to stabilize. Unfortunately, he just overdroned and he did not respect the follow-up here. Again, it's very common to go for a 2-1-1 after a 2-Rax Reaper opener because you already have a second Rax, right? You already have a second Rax, so it's very common for that stim timing follow-up. Mixu should have been aware that it was there, but again, maybe a little bit distracted, maybe a little bit on autopilot. He was droning instead. GG. GG. Maybe a little bit overconfident after he caught all the Hellions. True. Maybe a little bit overconfident. But with that, GG well played. Nikrat, he will claim the series. He will take down Mixu 2-0. And with that, we'll advance on into the 3rd round. Let's go. Does advance on to the 3rd round. Again, if you're a fan of Mixu, if you're a fan of Hatsu, remember they are still in the tournaments. They just get knocked down to the lower portion of the bracket. They're still there. They'll still be back. And I'm sure we'll see them later on in the coming weeks. In the coming months, in the OSC Elite Rising Star. For now, though, we have our next matchup. Again, back to back. We have 7 best of 3s tonight. Up next, we have HonMonO versus Pappy. Pappy. Let's go. We have a Terran versus Protoss matchup. This is gonna be a fast one. Again, we don't really get to cast HonMonO too often anymore. HonMonO, he's been less active ever since DreamHack Dallas. For those who remember, HonMonO, he left Team Hyper 1, he joined Streamer Zone to be able to get some support to fly to DreamHack Dallas to compete at DreamHack Dallas as well. But ever since then, he has not really been playing in many tournaments. Whether it's StarCraft 2 or even StarCraft Evolution, HonMonO, he's pulled back a little bit. He still shows up every now and then, but nowhere near as active as he used to be. And we'll see how he compares. I still do favor HonMonO, for sure. I still favor him in this series, but it's Pappy, you know? It's I gotta have faith in my boy, but does he know who he's up against? Does he know? Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Protoss player, the Polish Protoss. It is Pappy. We speak about him all the time. Ah, he's beautiful. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the yellow Terran player, the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea. It is HonMonO. And HonMonO, he lives up to it. There's a reason why we call him the cheesiest Terran out there, because he sends out 2 SCVs, is going for a proxy 2 racks. Let's go. Again, he's known for nothing but all-in, specifically in this matchup. I should emphasize that because HonMonO, he does play more standard and more macro against Terran in TVT, and even in TVZ as well, he does often play longer games as well. He often plays like a more turtley defensive style in TVZ, even into mech as well, but against Protoss, he's an animal. He's an absolute animal. He's a clown. Let's go. As Raxes are on the way. Now again, HonMonO, he has a reputation, but the problem is if you don't know about him. Like Pappy, they're from different regions. I don't know if Pappy has ever played against HonMonO and has ever heard about him. And if he hasn't, then this is when HonMonO can thrive. If Pappy plays standard, then he can struggle. That is where HonMonO is at his strongest. Fly makes an AI, then they'll do a cast in parallel, and Sunny will have ladder cast or something. True, true. Then we can cast even more. That's all we need. Pretty sure HonMonO's reputation precedes him. I would probably disagree with that just because of the matches that we've seen. If you remember, it took a while for players like Karstam and players like Showtime and a lot of the other big European players to actually be familiar with him. I would also say that about his series against Jumy at DreamHack Dallas. It felt like, sorry, not Jumy, Harstam in DreamHack Dallas. It felt like Harstam wasn't really too familiar with him. Because if you remember in that series, Harstam was playing standard. I think it was Harstam versus HonMonO, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was Jumy versus Dolan. It was Jumy versus Dolan and Harstam versus HonMonO. Where HonMonO just caught Harstam completely with his pants down multiple times. They've had rematches since then, and because Harstam now has familiarity with HonMonO, then he's like in a strong position. We're going for Ninja Base. Let's go. We're going for a Ninja Base. We have 2 Shield Barbers here on the high ground and Pappy expanding elsewhere. Okay, a unique situation, unique response here out of Pappy. Yeah, my attention. Behind this going Proxy Marauder, Concussive Shell on the way. With his HonMonO, he's containing Pappy. He's containing, but is he really? He believes he is. Behind this, Pappy's getting into a robo for immortal production. He needs a little bit more time. Ooh, one of the Stalkers gets caught out. Very nice catch. As Pappy does overextend. HonMonO gaining higher ground vision with that Rax. Sentry's on the way with that Sentry. He can just force field the ramp. There's going to be no way in. He needs that Sentry. As Rax does scout the robo. Scouts the extra gateways. HonMonO pulls away, and HonMonO, he expands. Okay, we're getting a game out of this. We're getting a game out of this. HonMonO, he races back home to expand to settle into 2 bases. Little does he know that Pappy is already on 2 bases as well. HonMonO, he's not as ahead as he thinks he is. Oh! No shot. No shot. Does he scout? Oh, keep going. No shot. The Rax. Will he see? He will. 10, 8. No, he's not going. Hold on. It burns down. He doesn't scout. He doesn't scout. He doesn't see. You can see that Pappy, he even pulled away that one worker to make sure that he didn't reveal any mining here as well. So there was nothing in the mineral line. So again, Pappy, he does successfully hide his ninja. Hides his base, and HonMonO, he fails to scout.
Your base, you know.
Hi. Este HonMonO. It was so close. From here, HonMonO is just getting up to his own second Rax into imagine a third. Building up his Raxes. Bappy is moving out. He's getting map control. Now, I don't believe Bappy ever intends to really commit into one of these bases, but he can threaten. For sure, he can threaten. He can maybe even pick off add-ons. Headed for the main, but there is a Viking in position. Prism taking a lot of damage already. It's a lot of damage, has to back off. Oh, Bappy just taking a third. I mean, hey, he's fully saturated, true. Fully saturated on 2 bases, getting a third up and running. As we do see Bappy overextend. Yeah, 1 Stalker going down. A bit of miscontrol there by Bappy. Behind this HonMonO, again, he's known for aggression, he's known for all-ins, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get a third CC, if he throws down extra Raxes and commits. Stim is still on the way. HonMonO already moving out. He's being active. The Observer, of course, does see that HonMonO doesn't push. Crucial here that Bappy does keep this Observer alive. He knows he's safe. Yeah, Bappy knows he's safe. He's taking up. Well, we have the Temple Archives on the way, extra gateways, a charge is coming. Bappy so far sees all. HonMonO hunting for that Prism. And we're still waiting for Storm. Temple Archives is done. We're waiting for that upgrade. Storm is still not yet on the way. There we go, just now starting. Now the question becomes, can HonMonO hit pre-Storm? Stim is almost complete. Like, that would be the timing here to move out, but if he wants to wait for +1 attack, then Storm will finish. Here comes the Unsiege. Here comes the move out. Bappy, he will spot this. He will spot the main army. Bappy is where ideally Bappy does want to engage ahead of time. And wants to be a little bit more proactive. Okay, Storm is being chronoed as we speak. Bappy's got plenty of force fields. There's a scan HonMonO looking for the third. Scan Bappy actually trying to come in from a flank. Okay. But Liberators have sieged. Tanks are going to siege up as well. Bappy, he's... Okay, here we go. He's going for it. He does go for the dive. Gets on top of the tank. Storm does connect. Yeah, Storm's a blanket the army. Tanks go down as well. And Bappy, he will completely shut this down. Oh, or will he? It's getting close. Oh, the Immortals are a little bit pinned. They're pinned back. Immortals are pinned back. We're cutting through the Liberation Zone as well. Few moves there out of HonMonO. Yeah, but he takes it. Bappy does take it. Takes down the final Liberator. Cleans up the army. And remember, Bappy's on 3-base economy. The Ninja Base. He's crazy. Let's go. The fight could have been a little bit cleaner for sure, but regardless, HonMonO gets shut down. And again, HonMonO, he's not expanding, he's not getting a third CC, he's throwing down extra Raxes, he's throwing down a Ghost Academy as well. He is intentionally staying on 2 bases because he believes he doesn't need to really do much more than that. Here we go, 4th base is on the way. And HonMonO, he has no idea. Tries to boost in. Oh, he saw. Did you see probe? Yeah, he saw transferring worker. He will confirm. Yeah, he sees the base. He's like, hold up, what's going on? Why are the patches? Why are they looking thinned out? Ooh, nice mine. Marshal goes off. Gets a high Templar. Templar goes down. HonMonO dropping towards the main. He'll be hit with feedbacks, I would imagine. Yeah, feedbacks. They do catch one of the medevacs. You get a weapon in the main. Double drop towards the left hand side. HonMonO is behind, but with drop play, he could recover. Like, there's a world out there where he can maybe get some economic damage done Try to recover. But there's a lot of pressure on these medevacs. As HonMonO stepping in. Steps in, going for the upgrades. Multi-9 +1. So the armor is denied. But he will lose medevacs. One medevac goes down. Yeah, he's HonMonO is trying to figure out what's happening. He's like, wait. This is not added. The math doesn't make any sense. Oh, no. And it's all or nothing for HonMonO. I mean, he's getting a 3rd CC, so he's going to try to macro out of this? Oh my god, he's crazy. HonMonO macroing? I mean, it's either that or we pull the boys. But okay, claiming a 3rd. Claiming a 3rd base. He does break out. He's got his ghosts, he's got his EMPs. It's still going to be a rough move out here for HonMonO, for sure. As it's pushing into Storms and now Colossus as well. We're making 2 Colossus at a time. We've got the gas for it. Babby's got his gases, he's about to max out. Mind shot's going off. And it's going to be a tough hold here. I mean, there's a world where maybe we can land every EMP on the High Templar, on the Archons, on the Colossus as well. There's the first Storm. Prism's under fire. Storm does run away. Boys are being pulled. Would you EMP the Colossus? Yeah, the Colossus is getting very low, but how the Vikings go down, Colossus gets saved, and there's no more Vikings. No more Vikings. Cells, they break through, they get on top of the army. All the SCVs go down. And Babby just brings it back. Consolidates his forces. Takes the fight. He cripples HonMonO. The army is looking a little bit thinned out, so Babby just playing it safe. He plays it safe, backs off. Waits for reinforcements. Yeah, High Templar, they morph in. The Storms are ready. Down to 3 ghosts, and Pappy is starting to take up into Sky Toss. Doesn't need to, but yeah, sure, why not? Fleet Beacon's on the way. Sky Toss on the horizon. Pappy just securing himself. Jesus, up to 4 Colossus. He's getting a 5th Colossus. He's getting a 5th Colossus. We don't need that many back. Hey. Disruptors on the way. We got plenty of lasers. How many Vikings? Ooh, Storm does land. There are 5 Vikings. Jesus. There's not actually that much anti-air, so the Vikings may be able to hold their own a little bit if we had more. But there's still only 6 Vikings here for HonMonO. He's not making any more. I mean, he can't afford it. Like, HonMonO, he just broke. Pappy's maxed out. And he can just trade. At this point, he can trade. Even inefficiently. Vikings get a free Colossus. Nicely done. Free Colossus. Yeah, it's from here. We're going to go for the final fight. Massive Nova goes off. Brutal connection. Takes out a massive chunk of the bio. I mean, that was, what, 2 ghosts going down? We can just send it, baby. We can send it. And the Viking kind of scary. It wouldn't be pretty. A lot of Colossus would fall. Your Nova goes off. Does overshoot, so not the best Novas here, but nice Storm. As we have DTs waddling in. Yeah, he's here to break HonMonO Spirit. GG gets caught as DTs they waddle into the Mineral Lines. We're going to warp into the main base as well. And with that, Bappy, he will take the game. GG. GG, well played. We'll take the first game in the series. Very impressive start here out of Bappy. Again, very cheeky as well. I loved his response with HonMonO going for the proxy 2x Mass Marauder and containing his opponents, but he didn't contain because Bappy had a ninja base. And the ninja base, I mean, that was the big reason, of course, why Bappy was able to recover, was why he was, I say recover, why he was ahead from almost the beginning, had a massive economic lead, and HonMonO didn't realize until it was too late. By the time he saw the base, it was already a 4th expansion. There was already a 4th base on the way, getting up and running. He could not punish it. Not anymore. Not anymore. With that, Bappy takes the lead, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Jumping into game 2. Oh boy. We'll see if we make a series out of this. This morning in the bottom hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is Bappy. Leading the series leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we'll see if he can tie things up and force the ace match. The pressure is now on our South Korean Terran, the cheesiest Terran player out there, the yellow Terran. It is HonMonO. Let's go, Bappy, let's go. As we get into our best of 3. And we get into game 2. Just updating the challenge page. Mixtures results. And with Nicker X results. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now that last game lasted longer than I assumed, by the way. Whenever we get a game with HonMonO, I'm expecting one and done. We go for the proxy, we go for the cheese, we go for the aggression, we go for the all-in, and then the game ends one way or the other. But no, we saw that HonMonO, again, because he had incomplete information, he tried to macro out of that, tried to get a 3rd base and tried to catch up, or even just maintain his lead that he assumed that he had. It wasn't quite there. Here, 2x. Oh my god. 4x, I believe we're going to throw it in a... Sorry, we have 3x's. I believe we're going to throw it in a 4th rax. If I'm not mistaken, there is a build... there is a build where he goes up to 4 axes, goes Mass Marine, and he pulls the boys, but here we're taking gases. We're taking gases, so we're going Mass Reaper instead. Okay, this I'm a little bit less used to. So 3x Mass Reaper, taking all the gases. This time there's no proxy, but aggression nonetheless. I got HonMonO living up to his name. Cheesiest Terran player in South Korea. Maybe in the world? A lot of the other cheesy Terrans have, like, retired. I'm referring to, like, Ziggy. Remember Ziggy, the Polish Terran? Like, he stepped away. What else am I thinking of? I'm sure there are others. I'm sure. I know there was a Singaporean Terran player that was just known for cheese and aggression. feel like there's one that's slipping my mind. Regardless. Here comes HonMonO. We pull the boys. Okay. we pull the boys. The boys are being pulled. We have Mass Reaper on the way. Hallucination sees everything. Confirms the boys being pulled. Confirms all 3 Raxes. And back at home, we have a force field ready. Shield barriers on the sentry. Oh no! Oh my god, the sentry does barely survive. We need those force fields. We need that energy. Whether I mean, force fields can help against the SCVs, against the main army. Likewise, we can Guardian Shield as well. But the sentry is so low. Yeah, sentry goes down. Nice pick off. Sentry does go down. The boys are here. Shield barrier's only halfway done. And we're gonna have to pull our own boys. There we go. The probes are also being pulled. One stalker goes down. There's no shield battery. Yeah, there is still no shield battery. Boys, they overshoot. That's a lot of probes going down. Stalker almost getting surrounded. Oh no, the shield battery, but the shield battery does finish. Oh no. Does have the shield battery. Trying to maintain these stalkers. The boys are being cleaned up. Stalker pulls away. We have a second shield battery just now finishing up in time. And Pappy's holding. He's holding on. He lost 8 pros, but he kills 8 SCVs. Forcing back those Reapers, and now there's no buffer. Now there's no buffer, and now there's no support. Now it's pure Reaper. And now we have 3 stalkers. And now we have 3 stalkers. Oof. Shield barrier does support. There's the energy overcharge. And remember, HonMonO, I panned over to point out that he has no expansion, that he's 1 base all in. I panned over just in time to see him pull the boys. Okay, let's go. The boys are being pulled for the 2nd time. We leave 1 SCV mining minerals and a couple of mining gas. Ay. 7 SCVs kept at home. And again, either HonMonO breaks Pappy or he dies trying. At this point, though, look at the stalker count. And remember, Pappy, you can always pull the boys again just to buffer. But the shield battery's on the way. The boys are back. Likewise, so are Pappies. The Pappies, let's go. Yeah, the boys will trade. And 1 stalker goes down. That was all for 1 stalker. He gets 1. He gets 2. That's all he's gonna get. That's all he's gonna get. 2 stalkers go down. Pappy does hold on, pulls back to mining. 2nd shield barrier is now done on the low ground, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Pappy, he will claim this series at 2-0. He will advance on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Once again, I forgot to turn on the predictions. My apologies. But GG, well played. Again, like I do such a bad job when it comes to hosting predictions if there's cheese, just because my attention immediately goes to the all-in that's happening. I do apologize. But GG, well played. GG, well played. With that, Pappy does claim the series. Congratulations. Very well played here. Shout out to HonMonO for competing and for showcasing some crazy builds. But again, Pappy had some really good responses, specifically in game 1. Like game 1, I feel like Pappy did shine. I feel like he shone quite brightly, I should even say, in game 1 with his ninja-based response. In game number 2, we saw that Pappy, he was able to scout with his hallucination. That was a crucial moment. His hallucination moved out. He was able to confirm the all-in that was coming, so he was able to get his shield batteries up in time. He got 1 shield battery at the natural, 1 shield battery in the main, and they were very much so impactful when it came to defense. If they were any later, that could have been game. That could have been game then and there. If he had failed to scout, if he had failed to realize what was happening, then I can definitely see that working in favor of HonMonO. GG. GG, well played. With that, Pappy does claim the series, and with that, we are going to be following Pappy into his next match, into a PvP. As his opponent has been patiently waiting, it is going to be Art versus Pappy. There we go. There we go. We have our next matchup. It's going to be a PvP. The PvPs, oh, they've begun. They're upon us. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art. Sorry. Not Polish. I was on autopilot. Not the Polish Protoss, the other Protoss. Do I have the Quasar logo? I don't. Just fixing up the teams. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, the Polish Protoss. There we go. It is Pappy. This is Art, not to be confused with Art. Yes, true. There we go. So we have our PvP. And we'll see how our players will approach this. PvP has a certain reputation amongst the European players. PvP is often very chaotic, very intense, very aggressive. But if you bring together certain players, especially from the European region, they're a little more macro-oriented. They're a little bit more tame, willing to get up to 3 bases and get into Stalker versus Stalker. We'll see if that's the case here. Now, there are certain exceptions to the rule. Because Mana, for example, is so prone to cutting corners and being greedy and going for gate cybercore openers, then we see a lot more aggression against Mana, for example. Similarly against Max Pax. But that is changed recently with Max Pax, as he has been embracing 2-gate openers a lot more often over the past 2 weeks. For now though, 2-gate. 2-gate out of Art, 2-gate out of Pappy. From here, we're going for the Cybercore, and we are waiting for our first units of choice. Do we open up double Adept, double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, or Sentry Expand? What are we going for? As we have to wait for the Cybercore. Likewise, the second pylon gets thrown down in the main base for Art, second pylon in the main base for Pappy as well, so no one is proxying. No one is proxying, and both players will scout to confirm that. So no proxy, no cheese. Cybercore is just now finishing. And also, before I forget, of course, predictions. Predictions are open and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we get our Gamba going. There we go. We have Stalker Sentry versus Stalker Sentry. These are the most standard openers. Stalker Sentry is meant to get you into the mid game. It scouts across the map, keeps you safe, and it is not aggressive, as we're not opening up with additional adepts or additional stalkers. So we're selling into a longer game. Pappy casting back? Yeah, let's go. Shield battery saves today. Well, again, as we emphasized, it was thanks to the scouts, speaking of, the hallucination scout in the previous game, which notified Pappy to get those shield batteries when he did. But yes, it was very clutch. Very clutch. As both players are going to be scouting each other. Again, thanks to these sentry openers. They will move in, they will scout, and they will confirm that everything's looking normal. Both players are going to be opening up Twilight Council, both players are opening up Blink, and we spoke about it at the start of the game, how there are certain players and there are certain regions that are a lot more aggressive, but here we're being very passive, which means there's a very high chance we're going to get into Blink, we're going to get a third base, we're going to go for a lower gateway count, get into a greater economy, and get into the mid game. So much more tame here. As we're saturating our bases. Additional hallucinations are on the way. Would you see Art's going for a robo before expanding? So much more safer here from Art. With a robo, he will get access to the Observer in case there are a Dark Templar. So very safe out of Art. Hallucination does confirm. And Pappy KC expansion. So we have a safer opener out of our red Protoss, we have a greedier build out of our blue Protoss. If Art was going for a Dark Shrine, then Pappy he'd be in danger because there is 0 detection. So this is a bit of a risk here out of Pappy. I say a risk, both players have been non-stop scouting, so they're just ensuring that there is no hidden tech. Technically, there could be a proxy pylon and a proxy dark shrine, and neither player would be aware, but that isn't the case here. There is no proxy, there is no threat. So Babby does have the slightly better economy. And with the faster robo, we can start Immortal production, and that could give the edge in a main fight to Art. For now, again, let's take the Observer. Again, just ensuring that he doesn't die to DTs. Getting his detection, getting his vision. Charge on the way. We should be seeing charge soon from Babby as well. He has yet to take up. Still because they get into the mineral lane, getting 1, 2 probe kills. Babby out of position, not bad. 4 probes, 5 probes even. So even though Babby had the faster expansion, he does bleed out a lot of workers. Babby was distracted. No mining here at the natural either, so a little bit of a chaotic defense here from Babby. There we go, does go back to mining, does notice. Babby moves out, Art now takes the economic lead. And Artie's back home. He's in position, he's back home, he's got his shield batteries, he has his force fields. 1 sentry goes down. Nice snipe. Gets a sentry. But Babby has to back off, he cannot take that main fight. And Babby, he never got charged. I feel like that's a mistake. He's warping in Zealots. Ooh, he forgot charge. That's dangerous. That's scary here for Babby, and hopefully he realizes in time. Look, he's going to charge an Archon. Temple Archives for Archon production. Again, charge should be here. Oh boy. And I'm hoping he realizes soon. As it isn't really coming into play yet. Because there has been no main fight. As Art is still building up. Both players are about to get into their Archons. And the hope here is that Babby realizes before they clash. You don't want to realize that you're missing an upgrade while you fight, while you stop fighting. Like, oh god. So, hoping that happens soon. As Archons are morphing in. He should realize when he does look at his army when he moves, right? Like, the Zealots have a different animation. Well, I mean, they just have a slower speed. Till then, 4th base is getting up and running. And there we go. There we go. He has noticed. He noticed. Babby charge is now on the way as... Yeah, the Zelts are far slower than the other ways typically are. So working towards charge. I'm sure it was like, what? I'm like, I swear I started it. Where is it? Why is it taking so long? Oh, I see. And it will finish in time. So it's all good. It's all good. He's not being punished. And again, just very passive. We're getting to a 4th base, getting up and running. Because of the earlier lead, you can see that reflected in the supplies, where Art, he just has a stronger setup, a stronger army. And we're just gonna max out. We're just like this is European PvP. It's just you just back off, you max out, it's just like no rush, 15 minutes. Even no rush 10. And we'll soon max. We're getting there. Pappy's maxing out. Now, when it comes to maxed out armies, the supply does lie. What is important here is the army composition. So far, we have an equivalent Archon count, true. When it comes to the upgrades here, we do have a slight advantage in favor of Art. Art, his +3 timing is a little bit faster. He's already working on +2 armor as well, so slightly better upgrades. Armies are about to clash. We have the Immortal in favor of Pappy. But he cannot push up this ramp. Pappy forced to back up. At the same time as Zella warping across the map. We got Zelts to the main, we got Zelts here at the natural as well. Pappy has limited warp-ins as he's maxed out. This goes down. Nice catch. Getting a couple more probes. Pappy, he sends everything back home to defend. Uh-oh, which means the gold is exposed. Yeah, Pappy, he just races, he turns everything around. This Nexus could go down, but RT doesn't commit. It's Pappy, he's turning back around. Turns back around. Art pulls away. There's still one Zeld in the main. So in the end, got 8 pro kills. Art does commit, it does push up the ramp. From here we have so much supply not actually engaging here for Pappy. Are going for the warp in. Ooh, does get cancelled. Nicely done. Denies the warp in, pushing into a greater concave, and Pappy he will take this fight. We'll take the fight, we'll force him back. Maintains most of his Archons. Let's go. Pappy moving out. Zealot reinforcements won't do much. Remember, Mass Archon shuts down Zealots so hard. This is where you need Immortals. You need Immortals, need more Stalkers to focus down those Archons. As Zealots, they do nothing. But Pappy doesn't keep going. I feel like there was definitely an opportunity to push in. 100%. 100% there was an opportunity to move in. But Pappy backs off. He plays it safe. He gives Art the opportunity to actually build up an army. The Archon count is still in favor of Pappy. So I still favor him in a head-on fight. He rotates over. He's catching up with those upgrades. Already has +1 shields over Pappy. But +1 shields is almost done. Oh! Nice hold position micro. He's got the concave. Couple of Zelts peel off to kill the expansion. Meanwhile, Archie's getting his mothership. See Arch coming from the side. We get some force fields, but the Archons, they break them through. Break through the force fields. We collapse off the Archons as well. Better angle here from Art. Ooh, and he's breaking through. And breaks through most of those Archons. And getting him on top of the final 4. Yeah, there's 4 Archons left. Nice save. Okay. Better control there from Pappy. Save some of the Archons. He does recover somewhat towards the end, but Artie still takes the fight. One Immortal putting in a lot of work in the back line. And I'm worried about the mothership timing. Checking the vision here, there's one observer. There's one I mean, speaking of the one observer, Artie's hunting it down. Oh, he wants it. Oh, God. The observer barely survives. Warping into the main. Massive warping even. Okay. The mothership is out. Mothership is out. Zealots are wreaking havoc in the main base. Bappy being chased down. And these Zealots are depowering gateways. Still moving in. Alright, he has no detection, so his cloak isn't really going to be too impactful here. This is still the observer. But Artie's chasing. Alright, he's chasing. Zealots, sure, they're getting damage on the main base, but Artie doesn't care. He's all in. Well, I say he's all in. He's committed. He's committed. Gets a mineral line. We're trading bases. At least we're trying to, but Bappy's running out of steam. He's running out of Zealots. Alright, keep going. Keep going. We don't have to turn around. Send that back. Send it. There's RT bullies probably back. Nice slow zone. Takes out the Immortal. Immortal goes down. Bappy kites back. Kites back to his shield batteries. Okay, going for the mothership. Hazard overextended. Losing all of his Archons. Archons are going down. He's going to be recalling to the front lines. Recalls away from Zealots, but that's after the Archons go down. Yeah, the recall was too late. Recall was just a little bit too late. Still reinforcing. Still rallies across, still trying to break through. Without any Archons, these Zealots, they're putting in some work. Alright, he does overwhelm, breaks through the Zealots, breaks through the Immortals. There's a couple of Stalkers remaining, but I should have it. Alright, he should have it. Again, a very, very passive mid-game, early to mid-game. But once they maxed out, then they started flashing. Takes down the Prism, and Bappy just doesn't really have much left. I say that, warps in a massive wave of Archons, okay. Did lose his bases, down in economy, has an army to work with, without warping. Just trying to hang in there. Again, Bappy just trying to make his final stand. He can still trade well against the Zealots, but there's just so much more than that here. We have how many Stalkers? We have 13. We need Stalkers. We have the Immortal, of course, as well. More Archons morphing in. Art, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxing out. Unlike Bappy, Art, his bases have been more or less untouched. At least in a healthier state. The Archons are pinned a little bit further back, which is a little bit awkward. But overall, already should overwhelm. Wings forward. Takes down the Immortal. And GG. GG gets called. RT will claim it. He will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Alright, he does take a lead. Again, we had a bit of a back and forth here between our two players. There was potential for sure. There was, of course, the moments, though, when Bappy did go for the massive warping into the main base, which was nice. He was trading and he was getting some pylons and depowering some production, but he was vulnerable to the counterattack. He lost bases. He was losing expansions, losing mineral lines. He was losing so much more due to that counterattack. And with that, GG. With that, we saw that RT was able to take an economic lead and just snowball from there. And now we're getting into Game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Maganatha, one of the largest map of the map pool. From here, we'll see if we once again go for a similar style. We'll see if he spices things up. as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, we have the Polish Protoss. It is Pappy. Este Pappy. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Quasar. It is Art. We go. So we're getting into our next game. And again, last game we were very, very passive as we essentially just backed off until 10 minutes and maxed out before actually engaging with each other. We'll see if that trend continues here on Maganatha. There's a high chance of that happening just because of the size of the map. But at the same time, after what happened in that last game, there's maybe a chance for Pappy to maybe take a different approach, right? After going down in the first game, he might want to be more aggressive and more in the face of Art. It's possible. I want to believe. We have our initial 2-gate opener, 2-gate opener out of Pappy, 2-gate opener out of Art. Hello, as Pappy does sneak around the edge of the map. Okay. Based on the trajectory here, this might be a fake proxy pylon, or we might go a little bit closer and go for a proxy Stargate. This wouldn't be a bad location for a Stargate. Either Stargate, or we could be crazy and we could hide a Twilight Council. We'll see what it's going to be. Meanwhile, we do have Arts coming in with the probe scouts, and he should check further back in the main base. Yeah, there we go. And he's looking for the pylon. He's searching for the pylon, and there is no pylon to be found. Something is wrong. Something is amiss. The pylon is missing. Saboteur is done. There it is. Proxy Stargate. So Stargate here at a Pappy with this is going to be going for a proxy Oracle to deal economic damage across the map. Now, Art, he knows that this is a possibility. Again, he knows that it could be a proxy Robo. Could be a proxy Stargate, could be a Twilight Council, or it could be a fake out, or it could even be a proxy gateway as well. So there's a lot of possibilities here. We can see that Artie's scouting. He sends out a second probe. You can see he's scouting towards the left-hand side around the edge of the map. Unfortunately, he's scouting the wrong half. He's scouting the left when the proxy's on the right. And he has both probes in this area. Hallucination, okay, he does enter open sentry. Hallucination on the right-hand side. And the hallucination will not be able to confirm. It's so close. So close. Oh, there we go. There we go. Does confirm the Stargate is fully aware of what's going on. And response, cancels the Robo. I was going to say that a Robo is not the response you want against a proxy Stargate. So it cancels the Robo. He should be expanding. There we go. Nexus is on the way. And we need a shield battery in the main base mineral line. So a good response here by Art. Unfortunately, some wasted resources and wasted time because he had to cancel the Robo. That could have been a faster expansion. So a little bit shaky here, but he's adjusting. Oracle's moving in. We have a second Oracle on the way. No wall. Ooh, and there's no wall off. With that so far, one probe. Getting one, getting two. It's an okay start for Pappy. It's two workers. Shades into the main. Tilde up, taking one-shot probes. They can and they will. Getting 5 probe kills, getting up to 6. 6 probes going down. A second Oracle has arrived. 2 Oracles, a one-shot workers. They can wreak havoc. They go for a flyby. Getting 3 probe kills. Probes going down. Again, this is nice damage just because not a single Oracle is going down, and because of that, we can just threaten the bases. We can just force Art to be more defensive, to keep supply back at home, and to pin him down. Behind this, Pappy just enjoying a greater economy. From here should soon be expanding. Alright, he warps in a couple of adepts. Shades towards the main. Is denied. But again, there's a lot of pressure on Art to get something done across the map. He's getting a third gateway. And if he throws down the fourth gateway, then this would scream 2-base all in. But so far, there are no additional gateways. From here, we can still expand. You can see Pappy getting ready to delay the expansion. Going for the stasis traps. This is looking rough for Art. Oh, do you see what I see? Fourth gateway, let's go. Fourth gateway gets turned down, so we're going for a 4-gate blink setup here with +1. This screams aggression. It screams 2-base all in. We have more proxy gateways. Sorry, more proxy pylons, I should emphasize. And Pappy's expanding. So, Pappy, he's ahead. He's ahead economically, that is true, but he's down when it comes to production. He has 3 gates himself, so he's going to be down in a gateway. He's going to be, of course, investing resources into an expansion. Meanwhile, Art, he's going for a 5th gateway. 2-base all in. 2-base all in here by Art. Let's go. It's all or nothing for the Blue Protoss. Going for a 6th gateway. So 2-base, 6-gate all in. And I mean, again, he's behind, right? It makes sense he would go for an all-in because he has had a rougher start. Hallucination should confirm no expansion. No third base is a massive tell. Pappy, we need shield batteries. There we go. Shield batteries on the way. At least 2 late. We have 2 shield batteries here at the third. We have 1 shield battery at the natural. Stasis traps are being set up. I'm loving the stasis traps. If Pappy blinks forward, then he will be punished. Sorry, if Art blinks forward, he will be punished. Pappy fortifying as hard as he can. As he has 3 stasis traps. Likewise, he has 3 shield batteries, depending on where the army engages. 4th shield batteries on the way. More stasis traps. Jesus. More stasis traps. Again, Pappy, he knows. Oh! As well, Oracle goes down. It's time for the Oracle, but there's a Revelation. And we need those warp-ins. Nice bait in the first stasis. Baits out 1. Does he notice the others? And does he know? Does he notice? Steps forward. Nice force fields. Turning back the army. Little Stalkers are not engaging. Remember, Art has a massive Stalker lead. Thanks to the all-in. Stasis goes off. Oh my god, the stasis are brutal. Does catch half the army. Half the army gets caught. Art has to retreat. Pappy trying to chase him down. Ooh. Better fight for Art, at least initially. Has to respect the Immortal. Stasis Trap is about to run out. He's diving for the Immortals. He's gonna get 1. Yeah, 1 Immortal goes down. Can he get the other? Oh, he will. Yeah, he barely does. Energy overcharged a little bit too late. The army size here, 16-10. No more stasis traps. More shield batteries on the way. Fighting out of range of the shield batteries. A lot of soldiers are going down. Once again, diving the Immortal. Does 2-shot. 2 shots the Immortal. Sentries again left behind. A shaky defense here from Pappy. Heart's blinking in. Ooh, depowers everything. Sorry, depowers 1 of the shield batteries. The other one is still powered. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, Pappy getting desperate. Again, the Stalker count is just not there. We have 21 Stalkers in favor for Art. 21 Stalkers. And he blinks in. Yeah, he's done it. He has broken through. There's 1 more stasis. Stasis does go off. The Immortal still barely goes down. And now he retreats. Alright, he retreats. He has to get the hell out of here. That stasis did eventually come into play. It's keeping Pappy alive. So, he's trying to survive, but again, stasis runs out, takes down the final Immortal. And Art, he has done it. just broken through. I mean, we have a couple more Stalkers warping in, but still only 9 Stalkers. The shield batteries are running out of energy. This time he's fighting within range. This is the big issue, this is the big problem with the initial defense from Papi, is that he was fighting out on the high ground out of range of most of the shield batteries. We had some of these on the natural base coming, like they did support somewhat, even here. Again, was too far in the open. Down to 2 Stalkers, down to 1. And still warping in, still reinforcing. With the help of the Immortal, maybe. Now with 2 Immortals, okay. I mean, Immortals are pretty good. If they survive, though. Another Immortal goes down. Nice snipe. Once again, collapsing on the final Immortal. That's an Artosis Pylon, depowers everything at the natural. And no more Immortals, no shield batteries. Wasting a Chrono as well. And I'm just ensuring that nothing gets powered. And you can sense the frustrations from Papi because remember, he saw it coming ahead of time. He saw it coming. That's why he was setting up with the shield batteries, with the stasis traps, with the Immortal production. But as you mentioned, I do feel like he did fight a little bit too far out of range of most of the shield batteries. So they didn't come into play until it was forced back. And GG gets called. Art, he will claim the series 2-0. Art will advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. RT will claim the series. My condolences to Papi. He did fight hard, and again, like, he was setting up as best he could in that last game, but alas, some rough engagements, some rough fights. He had some nice moments with the stasis traps for sure, but you could even see him being punished for it as well, where we saw Art being so careful with his army. Whenever there's a stasis trap going off, he would back off. He would always go back in to capitalize on his army as well, to focus on those Immortals. GG, well played. Art does claim it. And we've had nothing but 2 zeros so far. We've had nothing but 2 O's as previously. As we can just catch up on the brackets and see where we are and see what's coming next. Let's go. Let us go from the top here. We have Mixu. Mixu took down Hatsu 2-0. We had Nicorette taking down Mixu 2-0 as well. So again, we have Nicorette waiting in the 3rd round. Likewise, we had Art. Art took down we had Papi. Papi took down HonMonO, and then Art took down Papi 2-0 as well. So we just finished up the upper. There we go. We just finished up the upper portion of the bracket, and now we have the 3rd round getting ready. We have Nicorette versus Art. That's going to be occurring next week. We have Art versus Sebestus, also going to be occurring next week. Again, different Art. Now, can we stop the Art versus Art? Can we stop that from happening? Because that's going to be very confusing. That's oh no. Can we stop them from facing off Esther, Nicorette, and Sebestus? That's who we're cheering for. That's no bias. We're cheering for them. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult cast. Hi. Art is ahead. Who? You know what I said. So we'll see if that happens. It would be fun though. It would be fun if they do play. We'll see if they can. We'll see if they can get there. For the time being, though, we're going to be heading down to the lower portion of the bracket. As I mentioned, they're going to be playing next week. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Percival up against Moja. That'll also be next week as well. But we have these lower matches. This is where our attention lies here. So we're going to be going on a break. And when we come back, we're going to be wrapping up the initial rounds. We're going to be catching up with Jumy versus Baby Marine, with UD Soldier versus Demi, and the winner versus YoungYakov. So these are the 3 final best of 3s for the broadcast. And again, we'll be getting into that after the break. Is the plan. We're going to break, and when we come, is the plan. It'll belong in a museum. Yes. It'll be art, all lowercase. But with that, we'll see you guys soon after the break with the conclusion, with the remainder of tonight's broadcast. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of today's broadcast. Second half here of the OSC League Rising Star number 16, day number 2. Day number dos here. Here we go. We are back. We are here. And we've had a lot of 2-0s so far. We've had nothing but 2-0s in the broadcast. We'll see if that trend continues coming to the second half, coming into our TVP. Up next, we have Jumy versus Baby Marine. I'll say these two are very close in skill, very intense, but also much more aggressive. So I'm hoping for something more intense, especially after that last series. It was a little bit more tame. I mean, really only game 1. But here we'll see how Jumy and Baby Marine do approach each other, both on the same team. So it's going to be a streamer's own team kill. Let's go. Let's jump on in. Game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. Bearing in mind that we have 3 series remaining here tonight, we have this matchup, this best of 3 between Jumy and Baby Marine, and we have a Demi versus UD Soldier thereafter. As warning, in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Protoss player. We have the German Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have the Italian Terran representing Streamer Zone as well. It is Baby Marine. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Will it go the way of the Protoss or will it go the way of the Terran as we move out with an SCV? Not just one, we move out with 2. It's going to be a fast one. It's going to be a fast one as we move out with 2 SCVs going proxy 2 racks. The racks are being thrown down behind the third base location. Jumy on the flip side, we'll see if he can get a read on what the hell is happening, as so far he has stayed at home. So far there's no probe scouts. Meanwhile, before we get ahead of things, a big shout out to Pesavenga in the chat. Papi, thank you so much. Oh, Pesavenga. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to the community, gifted sub to Mazaroth. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the support as always, papi, as always. Much love, much love. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we're getting into our first game of the series. And again, we have our Raxes on the way. Based on their location, we do have 1 gas back at home, so it looks like proxy 2 Rax Reaper. Oh wait, we have a 3rd Rax. No, okay, proxy 2 Rax Reaper does seem to be the case. Jumy, he does move out across the map. He's setting up his own proxy, his own pylon. Okay. We have proxy versus proxy. We are not going Reaper because we're going for add-ons, so we're going proxy 2x Marauder from the side of Baby Marine. Meanwhile, Jumy, he has 0 scouting information because he's going for what looks to be a proxy pylon with a proxy Stargate. Is that the plan here? Gate Cybercore into proxy pylon into what looks to be a Stargate location. I think Jumy's dead. I'll be honest, I think he's just dead. He's expanding. He has 0 scouting information, so he has no idea what's going on. And if he starts to Stargate across the map, which he's about to, the Cybercore is done, the pylon is finishing, show us the tech of choice, which means he has even less to defend back at home. Oh boy. There it is. There's a proxy Stargate. So there is nothing at home. There's 1 adept. There's gotta be 1 adept to defend. It means that to reinforce, we have to recall the Void Ray or recall the Oracle once it pops out. So again, the defensive advantage here, the defensive advantage is not going to be there when it comes to production. The production is not at home. Adept shades across the map. There's nothing. there's nothing here. Let's go. Oh god. Baby Marine, he waddles in. He waddles in. Bunkers are being thrown down. The boys are being pulled away. Adept does commit, but there's a full wall across the map. Stargate's not even done, just now finishing. And Baby Marine, he just go in. Yeah, we just go into the main. Just keep going. Just keep going. Keep going in. There's 1 adept. And a shield battery. Adept gets caught out. Boys are being pulled. Oh, you see Baby Marine playing it safe. He does kite back to the bunker. Yeah, he does kite back. SCV goes down. Oracle is halfway done. That's a lot of probes falling. That's a lot of economic damage here. As one of the Marauders is low. That's going to be 12 probes. Ay. Oh god. 13 probes going down. There's no force field, there's no sentry on the high ground, so we just go in. Yeah, we just walk in. The 1 Marauder is quite low though, so we should be pulling it back to keep it safe. Going for the pylon. The Oracle does rock up across the map. The Oracle will kill SCVs, that is true. But it doesn't matter. The Oracle has finite energy. The Marauder should be able to kill everything. Once again, boys are on the way. Baby does kite back. He does kite back. Gets one of the Adepts. There's a recall back home for the Oracle. Both Adepts go down. There's the energy recharge. The energy overcharge even. Gets one Marauder. Gets one. Well, eventually you get two. I think we'll get a total of three. I think 3 Marauders are going to fall. The Oracle going back into the main base. True, we can just jump into, yeah, we can just jump into the bunker. We could juggle into the bunker as well. Cities are going down. We're getting some anti-air. Cyclone is on the way, and there's no answer to Cyclone. That's the reality here. There is no answer. The Cyclone will kill everything. As the Oracle is running out of energy. Once again, we could save that Marauder by diving it into the bunker, but never mind. Oh, it's save anyway. The Marauder is safe. GG gets called, and Baby Marine will take game number 1. GG, well played. A build order win here for Baby Marine. Again, Jumy, he blindly went for a proxy Stargate, which means he had 0 scouting. If he had just checked with his probe, then he would have seen that there was no production at home. Then he would have had a much more defensive approach and defensive response, but he had 0 information. He was just blindly going for the proxy as he was being proxied, and of course, proxy Marauder hits faster. It does hit first, and there was no defense back at home. Likewise, Oracles, as we mentioned, they have finite energy, they have finite uses, as once they run out, they can't really do anything. They tickle Marauders as well, and we saw even though they killed some SCVs, nowhere near enough damage. GG, well played. Baby Marine takes the lead, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Oh, let's go. We're jumping into a map that we haven't casted in quite some time. I'm a big fan. I did vote for it during the TLMC 20 map contest. We're going to be loading into Sandworm. Here we go. We're going to be loading in. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Sandworm, we have the German Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. We'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can force... Oh, let's go. Let's see if we can force the ace match as he's moving out. It is Jumy. Sends out the probe immediately, by the way, and spawning in the top left hand or top right hand corner of Sandworm, we have the Italian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. As Jumy's proxying. Jumy, he is proxying, he's committing. It's gonna be a short series. It's God damn it. Shaking my head. But welcome to Sandworm. Sandworm, honestly, is a really fun map. This was one of the possible maps that could have made it through the voting process during the Team Liquid map contest. We did showcase this map. A lot of tournaments did back in the day, earlier this year, before the new map pool was decided on, and this was one of the potential maps. This is a part of the extended map pool here in the OSC tournament. OSC events do feature an extended map pool with extra maps that are voted on by the players. So players, they voted on Sandworm. I voted as well. Casters are able to vote. I did vote on Sandworm. True. I'll say that. Did make it through. Boy cheesing. Let's go. As we have our gateway across the map, we have an economic opener out of Baby Marine. What does this mean? Single gas opener, which means we have a command center before the factory, which means helium production is delayed. Because helium production is delayed, and because, oh my god, that first SCV almost goes down, it means that this initial proxy has more value, has more potential to get damage done. And Jumy, he's hoping for a low ground CC. If the CC is going to be on the high ground, it's going to be safer. If it's on the low ground, then it could be cancelled. Ooh, as we spray, the spray gets thrown down. Este Jumy throws down the doggo. Behind this, we have the CC on the low ground, the Zelda's on the way, and the purpose here is not just to delay, it's to ideally force a cancel. You can see he's waiting. He's waiting. You want to wait for the Reaper to pop. You want to wait for the Reaper to pop out and to go across the map. When the Reaper is halfway across the map, then bam, you can go in with your Zealots, and there will be no defense. Oh, the Reaper scouting there. Yeah, the Reaper does scout. The Reaper does check. The Reaper does find the Zealots. So nice scouting here by Baby Marine. He does get on top of the Zealots, but there's still 2 Zealots rocking up. Yeah, one towards the SCV, the other up the ramp. The wall is solid. And the CC is going to be delayed, but the Reaper's getting a lot of damage done. Ooh. As he did spend a little bit of DPS here on the wall. There we go, Stalker has arrived. Can we save the Zealot? Ooh, barely nuts. Zealot goes down. And as you mentioned, the goal here is to force a cancel. The goal here is to force that cancellation. Marauder's on the way. Marauder does pop. Has to be respected. Ooh. Stalker does move down. And Baby Marine, can he save this? I mean, the Marauder has potential. But now we're up to 2 Stalkers. And again, we're tardy now to see it's going to be cancelled. Yeah, there's no saving this. No shot. Brutal damage. Now going for the Marauder, getting even more value. He gets a Marauder, gets one. Oh. Kills the SCV. Gets one Marauder. Do we save this? No shot. Stalker's coming in. Stalker comes in, takes down the Reaper, hunts down the Marauder as well. And should force a cancel. It's gonna be close. Here comes the Marauder. SCV comes in. He's gonna save it. Okay. He saves the CC. Okay. Let's go. I mean, if this was canceled, that would have been game. 100%. I mean, a couple of things here. On the one hand, he saves it, which is amazing, by the way. But look at how delayed it is. It is heavy. Despite that, it's still heavily delayed. So this is still pretty brutal damage. But I mean, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's still in this game. He's still in a rough position. But he saves the CC. It went down to what, 50 HP? It was so close to going down. Jumy is not done. Jumy. He wants it with the repairs though. CC should be safe. Going for the Marauder, gets one. Oh my god. Calm down. Calm down. Delays the bunker. Does delay, waiting for an extra warp in. There we go. Does warp in a Zell, does warp in a Depths. Ooh, Mine Shot goes off. Bit of miscontrol there from Jumy. He was waiting for the Zell to pop that mine. So a bit of miscontrol. One Stalker goes down, second Stalker takes a lot of hits as well. The bunker will not complete. Another Stalker goes down. Nice unit control here from Jumy. Sorry, from Baby Marine, I meant to say. Focusing down those Stalkers. Baby Marine does hold. He holds on. There's a world out there where that could have been, he would have been broken. It could have been broken, but Baby Marine, he's holding, he's defending. Going for his own mine drop. Jumy expands. And we have a game. We have a game here. I still give the edge to Jumy currently, but we'll see how much damage can be done with said mine drop. Behind this, we have our 3-1-1 setup. Getting into stim, building up tanks. Jumy should pull away in time. He should pull away in time. Oh god! Ooh. 2 probes. Okay. Only losing 2. Against 2 other mines. So better defense here for Jumy. And Baby Marine, he pulls away. He pulls back, and now we can take a moment. We can take a breath here. And we'll see Baby Marine turns this into an all-in. Like, again, remember, the economy here is still a little bit stifled for Baby Marine. So he could throw down 2 more Raxes, and he could commit into a 2-base all-in, or he could get a 3rd CC. We'll see what we go for. Likewise, Jumy taking up, getting into Storm. Storm is on the way. Oh, calm down. Jumy panicking a little bit. Calm down, Jumy, calm down. See Jumy getting ready for his own drop, for his own counterattack if a Baby Marine were to move out across the map. Likewise, Storm is about to finish. We have a 5 gateway explosion. That's a lot of gateways. It's going to be 7 in total. As the 8th gateway is going to be depowered. And again, this is where the soup does lie. Like, the supplies are very close, very neck and neck, but that doesn't really tell the story. Ooh, 2 more Raxes get thrown down. So again, seeing these extra Raxes here, it's a little more aggressive, a little more committed from Baby Marine on 2 bases, as he's choosing not to expand. Yeah, he pulls the boys. He pulls the boys, does choose not to expand. Again, a 5-rack setup is indicative of an all-in. It's all or nothing for Baby Marine. But remember, he's pushing into Storm. SCVs are hidden. As he moves out, Prism moves in. Going for a warp in. Now this means there's no defensive warp in, but also means the Baby Marine has no reinforcements. His reinforcements are heavily delayed. SCV's going to be going down. And there are storms ready. He scans. That's a lot of that's so many High Templar. That's six Templar. There's at least 6 storms. There's more than 6. Yeah, there's more than 6 storms. Tank does siege. Okay. Tank does siege up. Nice split. Nice split. Nice spread, but there's still so many storms. Tank does target fire. Does focus on High Templar. There's 1 Templar left. That's a final storm. But Jumy's holding. Yeah, Jumy, he holds on. Across the map, Zelsa overwhelmed. We have more reinforcements coming in. The final SCVs. And Baby Marine is running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He's running out of army. There's barely anything left. Surrounds the Immortal. And I mean, Baby Marine, he's somewhat claiming this fight. He can get on top of the Robo. He can maybe even focus the Robo down. But there are so many more warp-ins. Trying to force friendly fire. Nice on siege. So I'll say trickle in. There's another storm. Another storm is available. Oh, the pre-split! the control is beautiful here from Baby Marine, but unfortunately there's just not enough numbers. GG gets called. That was very aesthetic, but Jumy, he will tie the series. We're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. Again, Baby Marine, he had a shaky start. Yes, he saved the natural base. Yes, the supplies were close, but as you mentioned, the soup does lie. The army supply was, or the quality of the army was just greater for Jumy because of his tech, because of his faster third base, because of his greater income and greater economy. It doesn't really show until a little bit later. That's when the supplies start becoming a little bit more apparent, when they start like splitting off and when Jumy will take a lead. That's why Baby Marine, he opted for the all-in, and with that, Jumy did survive, did shut it down. And we're going to the ace match. Whew, the first ace match of the broadcast. Let's go. We're going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how the story ends. Will it go the way of Jumy or Baby Marine? We're here to find out. We're here to find out. Let's go as we're loading into Oceanborn. I mentioned earlier that we do feature an extended map pool. That means that players, they voted on 3 extra maps. 3 extra maps to add to the map pool. One of them was Sandworm, which you saw earlier. The other is Oceanborn, which was previously in a previous ladder map pool not too long ago, like the previous map pool even. The previous map pool was voted on is back, and here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the the German Protoss player. We have the German Protoss. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran. We have the blue Terran player. We have the Italian Terran, also representing Streamer Zone, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Baby Marine. Hello. As Jumy does send out his first probe, this time not to proxy, this time to scout. I mean, it's been a very cheesy series, right? It's like game 1, Baby Marine, he went for a proxy 2-Rax Marauder. Also, Jumy went proxy Stargate. Game 2, we had Jumy open up proxy Gateway, and we had a Baby Marine going for a 2-base all-in. Here, game 3, early scout by Jumy confirms the Rax is at home. The Rax is back at home. So Jumy just confirming that everything's normal, everything's as it should be. Second gas guys is on the way, so Baby Marine is going for a faster factory. A more tech-heavy start out of Baby Marine. Okay. Let's go. As Jumy does confirm the factory. He is now aware of the more tech-heavy start, and we should be seeing a safer opener out of Jumy. I'm regarding to like 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink, maybe even a robo on 2 bases as well before expanding and claiming a third. Likewise, aggression is favored here on Oceanborn. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've, again, properly casted on Oceanborn. The rush distance by ground is a little bit shorter. More importantly, though, the bases are more accessible. Yes, there's a ramp coming into the natural, but there are multiple entrances here towards the third. Likewise, there's no ramp into the third, so you can just get onto the same plane of elevation as the third base for a greater fight, a greater attack. This is why back in the day, Oceanborn was very common for German taxis. German taxis were so common on Oceanborn, and again, all-ins and aggression was common here as well. One base all in. Speaking of all ins, that is not there's no CC. there's just no expansion. Bay Marine, he goes for the factory, which is normal with a 2-gas opener, but he goes for a second Rax and a starport. A 2-on-1 setup on one base. One base all in. Not unheard of. One base all ins, they are viable in this matchup, specifically in this matchup though. Like you never see one base all ins against Zerg or against Terran even either. Yeah, proxies, sure. But here we're committing. We're going into Mass Marine. These are going to be Vanilla Marines. Bear that in mind. These are Vanilla Marines. The main DPS comes from not the Marines, the tank. The Marines are only there to buffer. They're there to buffer, they're to support the tank. Tank has arrived. Medevac is on the way, and I believe we should be pulling some boys with this as well to repair. To buffer. But again, Jumy's already playing it safe. As we mentioned, Jumy doesn't know what's going on, but because of the initial opener, Jumy, he has incentive to stay on 2 bases. Did I say safe? Jumy's being hyper aggressive. Jesus. I assumed 3-gate blink. This is not 3-gate blink. This is 4-gate blink stalker. We have 4 gates on the way. 1 gate is done, 3 more gates in production, so 4-gate blink stalker. That's a lot of gateways. But we need those warp ins. True. Like, the production means nothing if we have no army. And Jumy, he misses the move out. He does miss the move out. He just now confirms he sees the army. The Immortal's on the way. The longer this goes on, the better it is going to be for Jumy. But Jumy, he needs time. Nice snipe. Tank is pushing in. Again, this is the army. 2 stalkers and 2 adepts. Jumy just doesn't really have much to work with. He needs time for warp ins. As he will delay the bunker. Not quite. SCV is saved. Gateway goes down to 3 gates. 3 gateways left. Does force a cancel, getting on top of the Marines, but the tank volleys are going off. The Immortal has arrived, and there's the energy overcharge. He gets on top of the tanks. The Immortal pops off, takes out the first tank, and now going for the second. Yeah, the second tank is under fire. One more Immortal volley, barely doesn't get it. But he's pushing through. It's close. It's so close. Stalkers go down. The tank barely survives. And he's getting some of the pylons. The pylons are under threat. The Liberator has arrived as well. He's got the freedom. He's got the liberation. And I believe Vaymarine has done it. He barely keeps the tank alive. He's pushing further in. Camping the Robo. And the Immortal, I don't think it's going to pop out because he gets 1 pylon and he's going for the other. Yeah, second pylon's going to go down. Jumy coming in from behind. He pulls the boys. He will not save the pylon. The Immortal doesn't pop out. Now there's a second tank. Oh my god. Yeah, now the second tank, massive shots. And he's done it. Yeah, Bay Marine, he has done it. The 1 base all in and catching Jumy with his pants down again. He didn't see the army until this moment. He was more than halfway across the map when the Observer finally spotted the army. So late response out of Jumy, late reaction. The Twilight Council never came into play. And we're going for the final pylon. The final pylon here powering everything. Jumy, he's trying to repower that robot. Oh, okay. He's trying to. Pylon goes down, depowers the main. But the robot gets repowered. The Immortal will pop out. Despite that, though, there's still 2 tanks. 2 tanks and 2 Liberators. Like, no shot. No shot. 1 tank goes down. Takes out 1 of the tanks. And only the 1. As he snipes both Liberators even. Okay. I mean, impressive fight here out of Jumy, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called. GG will play it, and Baby Marine will claim the series 2-1. He'll advance on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, unfortunately, it was just a late scout. Late scout out of Jumy, late response. Again, he opened up 4 gates into a Twilight Council. As we saw, the Twilight Council actually never came into play. It was a waste of resources. If Jumy had scouted earlier on, if he had seen what was happening early on, even just seeing the move outs earlier on instead, having a unit there in position to scout, whether it's a probe, whether it's a unit, then he would have had the wherewithal to throw down a faster robo, to even cancel the Twilight Council, to save money, to save resources, get extra warpins as well. Again, it was just a very late reaction out of Jumy. Despite that, it was still a very close fight, still very close, very clutch, but barely went the way of Baby Marine. GG. GG, well played. Baby Marine, he'll advance on into the next round, and Jumy gets knocked down again. Despite us going to the ace match, very fast series. Really short games, a lot of hyper aggression between Jumy and Baby Marine, which is what we love here, which is what we appreciate. As we're now following up with our second last series of the broadcast. Let's go. We have some Zerg representation. Up next, we have Demi versus UED Soldier. Let's go. Again, Demi, he's a very old school player, has been around for a long time. Nowadays, Demi, he plays more as a hobbyist. Demi, he retired quite some time ago, has been focusing on his studies, focusing on other aspects of his life, and nowadays he just pokes in every now and then to play in a tournament, to play in an OSC King of the Hill, to play in an OSC Elite Rising Star, to play in a random tournament here and there. He does still pop up from time to time, but is no longer full-time as a player like he used to be. Still, though, a lot of fun to watch, and still, I appreciate covering some Demi action. Estevarun. Let's go. As we're getting into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is UED Soldier. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Matcherino Esports. It is Demi. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PVZ. Let's go. Now, in Demi's retirement, after Demi's kind of play has changed, has adapted over time. Now he plays a little bit more carefree. Now he has less stress on him, and we've seen a lot of aggression and all-ins out of Demi. We've seen, I mean, Demi, historically, he was known for one thing. He was the Muta King. He was the Muta King of the Sea, and in every matchup, he would play Muta. He'd play Muta, he'd go mass Muta, and he would excel with his Muta play as well. So that is going to be something in the back of my mind coming into this series, is going into Muta play. I would say it is viable on certain maps. It is viable on Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defensive as well. I would say it's easier to get away with Muta play on Tokamak than some of the other maps out there. Still, it's very niche. It's a very niche build, but it's Demi we're talking about, so we're thinking about Muta play. Another thing that Demi has been known for in recent times, in more recent times, is Link Floods. Link Floods and all-ins, cutting workers early on and committing across the map. As I mentioned before, typically back in the day when he was an active player, back in 2020, 2021, 2022, he was known for his mid-game. He was a lot more of a standard player. He was, I would say, the most standard player in Southeast Asia compared to all the others. To be fair, we had some chaotic characters back in the day, like Miyamaika, like Go-Go Joey, another slips my mind, Ender, that's it. Miyamaika, Go-Go Joey, and Ender, they were hyper-aggressive and hyper-cheesy and very in-your-face. Demi, compared to all of them, was a lot more tame, a lot more standard, but that has changed in recent times. Like, again, after his retirement, after he stepped away, after he came back, now that he plays a little bit more carefree, we've seen a little more all-ins, aggression, timing attacks. Demi's been having fun. He has been having fun, so we'll see what he goes for. We'll see what he goes for this time, as he does saturate, does rotate, does get his own third or natural up and running. Forsake the unnatural. Natural. UED Soldier, on the flip side, is typically known for his mid-game. His mid-game play, so we're expecting a standard opener. Gateway, Twilight Council. Oh, hello. That is a Twilight Council first. UED Soldier. Okay, this is a rare side nowadays. This is very rare. nowadays, if we go into Glaives, we go Stargate followed by a Twilight Council after the Stargate before the third. But here, straight up Twilight Council opener, this could be a couple different things. We pull out. Okay, he pulls out of gas, so you can see 2 and 2, 4 workers mining gas in total. This screams Glaive Adepts. This screams 4-gate Glaive Adepts. This should not be an all-in. This is going to be aggressive. That is true. Very aggressive, but you do expand behind this. So far we have 3 gates. We should be seeing 1 more gateway. There it is. 1 more gateway, so 4-gate Glaives out of UD Soldier. If Demi doesn't scout this, then he could just topple over. So Demi, he's in a little bit of danger here. There we go, Glaives are on the way. If UD Soldier pulls back into gas and gets 3 and 3 from this moment, then he could afford a Dark Shrine alongside this, but we can see he's staying 2 and 2. Staying 2 and 2. So just coming with 4-gate Glaives. We have a safety Roach Warren out of Demi. Demi, he hasn't gone in for a scout. He is on patrol. Also, did I open up? Yeah. Predictions were open. Just a little bit concerned. They were open. And Demi just trying to get a read on what's happening. And ideally, he scouts the move out. Behind this, Demi is droning, and it's safe to drone up to around 40 to 45 workers. Should be fine. But we need that Roach production. And because of the early Roach Warren, Demi should be okay. And so there we go, Demi sees the NFs moving out, he sees a Prism as well, he knows. He's aware, we need Roaches. Roaches are amassing. Now, there's no SimCity. A big reason for this is because of the unnatural natural. You can see the creep is only just now getting here. The creep is only just now spreading in this area, so there is 0 wall. NFs are warping in, UD Soldier is pushing. This is why this can be stronger if you force that unnatural natural base. Queen's under fire. No transfuse. Gets 1. Gets 1. Queen is going to get another as well. Barely not Lings. They do collapse on the army. Nice trades here with the Adepts. He does clean up every single Zergling. And we're going for the Mineral Line. Oh. Yeah, we're on A move though. No target firing. Does focus on the Roach, not the drones. So Demi's holding. Demi, he's holding. Demi defend. Nah, never mind. I was gonna say he's holding. Adepts, they warp in. Adepts, they do get into the main base as well. We have Adepts in the main and shading in as well. He gets torn apart. Demi gets torn apart. GG, well played. As UD Soldier takes game number 1. GG. Demi, he was defending well against the first wave of Adepts, but I didn't notice that a Prism came back into the main base, went for another warp in, and that is what Demi wasn't ready for. That's Demi wasn't ready for, and Demi was losing, or soon to be losing, drones in the main base. GG. GG, well played. He gets torn apart by the Adepts. And again, this hits even harder just because of the lack of SimCity, right? Typically, in a standard opener, if Demi had his natural, he could throw down his Roach Warren and his buildings as a part of the wall at the natural to fully wall that area off, to limit the mobility of those Adepts, to limit it, to be able to focus on the Prism and focus on his 2-base defense and just evacuate the third. But because of the opener, because of the placement of the expansion, there was no SimCity, right? There was no SimCity, so it becomes more difficult to keep up and to rotate. With that, GG, well played. We're getting into game 2, and we'll see if Demi can bounce back and get into his game, because I feel like he wasn't really able to showcase what he's made of here. He was stuck defending, stuck reacting to his opponent, and stuck in the backfield. He was on the back foot, and here we go, spawning in the left-hand corner of Magnatha. We have our green Protoss player. We have our green Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing CSO Esports. We'll see if he can claim the series here and now. It is UED Soldier. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg from Adreno Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. It is Demi. And I would also, coming into Magnatha, say, oh, it's a large map, you know, there are a lot of bases, a lot of spaces, and because of that, longer rushes to spike ground, Demi could get away with Muta play. That's only if he can survive the early game. Only if he can drone up and saturate on 3 bases. That's the first hurdle that Demi has to go through. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can actually get into a 3-base economy. We'll see what UD Soldier goes for instead. As our eyes are mainly on the Protoss. Mainly on UD Soldier. So now we have our hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Demi. This time Demi is able to expand on location. This time is looking a lot more comfortable, thankfully. Go. And once again, we're just waiting for a tech of choice. Typically, we're expecting just a Stargate and a standard build here out of UD Soldier, but based on what happened last game, he's looking a little bit more sinister. You can see the pylon is placed further back next to the main base, closer to behind the mineral line, so he can hide tech. As typically a Stargate opener, the pylon would be closer to the edge, just to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. So you have my attention. Yep, there it is. He's doing it again. Let's go. He's doing it again. As we are opening up with the Twilight Council. The pylon did kind of lean in that direction. So Twilight Council opener out of UD Soldier. And once again, if he pulls out of gas, pulls one worker out of gas each, then we're expecting 4-gate glaives, but you can see he's staying in. He's intentionally staying in gas, which means there's a higher chance this is going to be a DT opener instead. There's one of two things. This should either be a Dark Shrine for a DT opener into an Archon drop, or if we go into glaives, we have enough gas for extra gateways. For not just 4-gate, but 6-gate glaive adepts. So we're leaning towards either 6-gate glaives or DTs. Robo gets thrown down. Without an upgrade on the way, we're expecting the Dark Shrine. Yep, there it is. Dark Shrine has been thrown down. And again, just based on the gases, we do see that Demi, he is still in the dark. He has yet to poke in with his Overlord. He doesn't know what's going on. What's scary here for Demi is that it could be either or, based on what he's seeing. What does he see? He's going to confirm that there's no third, at least. And he will potentially get eyes on the Robo, on the Warp Prism moving out. But, I mean, it would look the same as it typically would. As a previous game, I mean. Because we should be warping into depths. Demi once again going for the Roach one. You can see, again, as we were kind of emphasizing last game, just because of the bases that were expanding, that were being taken, there was no SimCity. Here we have a Roach one as a part of the wall. Here we have the setup here to fully wall off this location against Adepts. Unfortunately, it's not Adepts, right? That's unfortunate reality here. Prism moves out, forward S move out as well. Demi, he sees this, and again, this looks just like game one. It looks the same. Zero detection. Oh, Demi, no lair, no spores, zero detection. He believes the same build. He believes it's 4-gate glaives. Ay. He's making that assumption. And again, everything looks the same until now. Here come the Dark Templar. Spores, they're just now starting. And they shouldn't finish. Can he save it? Yeah, he does surround. He does surround the spore. Despite that, damage is still going to be done. Yep. Still does get damaged. He picks off so many drones. But the spore will finish. The spore will complete. Still 6 drones going down. A nice start here for UD Soldier. Don't say shade away. And from here, we can morph in Archons. Now, there's no Spore here at the third, so honestly, he could just kill the space. He could kill the third. But from here, we should be morphing in. Oh, actually, we'll give him more damage. True, there's no mobile detection. Picking off Zerglings. From here, UD Soldier expands. And he's macroing out of this. And this is the advantage of a DT opener, is that this is not an all-in. This never was an all-in. It's just a way to get ahead. A way to get ahead. Oh no! Oh, as the Archons get caught out, and they're going to be saved just barely in time. And this is what makes it such a good opener, and why I say opener, because you go DTs first, then Archon drop. And this is to hunt down Overlords, and you can see the Overlords are forced back home as they're being hunted down. You can trade against Zerglings, and you keep Demi busy at home while UD Soldier expands and saturates his third base. Demi has to defend, so UD Soldier is safe as an Overlord goes down. Hunts down the Overlord, keeps splitting him down. Now, the downside here is that your anti-air is going to be more limited, so Demi could respond to this with Mutaply because there's no Blink Stalkers, right? Blink Stalkers are not a factor, So you can abuse with mutas, you can abuse with Swarm Host, true. When you see players go Swarm Host Nidus as a follow-up, it's often against a DT opener. Or it's often against an Archon drop opener. Just because without Blink Stalkers and without a Stargate, it's more difficult to keep up with Nidus Swarms and with Swarm Hosts as well. So there are other follow-ups and other tech choices which become more viable. So there's a bit of a give and take. For now though, Demi, he's just committing to Roach Ravager. Soldier does move back. Oh! This Queen's they attempt to intercept. They attempt to. Infestation bits on the way. This might be Swarm Host, but this does feel late. It feels like a bit of a later Infestation pit. But my initial thought here is going to be Swarm Host before Hive Tech and Lurkers. But that's also, of course, a viable option. Is to try to tech up into Hive and try to tech up into Lurkers. But Swarm Host is still on the table. If that were the case, though, we'd be seeing a Nidus Swarm. So we'll see. We'll see if it's going to be the Hive. Now, before we can think about any of that, though, here comes Yudi Soldier. Here he comes. He's moving out across the map. He's built up his army. And right now, we need as much Roach Ravager as possible. Army gets spotted. Demi's trying to get ready. Securing up. 10 more roaches on the way. Yeah, Hive. I was going to say that if the plan was to go into Swarm Host, it's too late for that, so he's going into his Hive. This should be to tech up into Lurkers. Should be. I mean, we get confirmation if we see a Hydroden. If there's no Hydroden, then this might just be for Viper support. Or Roach Ravager with Vipers, which would help against the Immortals. Ah, there it is. There's a Hydroden. So, Lurkers are definitely on the horizon for Demi. I do believe that UD Soldier should be able to break him before Lurker Tech, though. I'm referring to the Storm time. Storm is almost done. +2 is almost done. We're making 2 Immortals at a time. It's a very robust army. It's very beefy. There's a lot of Immortals, Archons, Storm, High Templar, Charge Lots. We're building up a death pool of an army. An army that's can only be stopped by Lurkers. I say that with a good amount of Lingbane Roach Ravager as well, but there's no Lingbane. It's only Roach Ravager. So the Zealots are that much more effective. Base goes down. Nice Storm. Storm on the main army. Soldier does rotate. Getting on top of the roaches. Nice force fields. Yeah, force fields that lock down some of the roaches. We have some wasted DPS there as roaches get further back. Oh! Files, they do graze the army when the base goes down, and you can see the UD Soldier is not being stopped. Not like this. He's got too many Immortals, and the roaches, they cannot hold their own. Files are connecting. The files are connecting, but it may not matter here. Again, the soup does lie. You can see that Demi is maxed, but he's maxed out with a subpar army, with Roach Ravager. Roach Ravager is very supply inefficient. So the supply is lying to you. UD Soldier has a much, much greater force here, and what Demi needs more than anything right now is Lurkers. If he can buy time for Lurker Tech, then he can hold and he can survive. As that is how many? That's 10 Immortals. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's going to be a kill and a cancel. Lurkers are morphing in. Let's go. Again, he needs a little bit more time. We have 3 Lurkers on the way. Can he get to the Lurkers? Can he get there? Oh gosh, the storms are brutal. Get so much value out of the storms. Okay, we got 3 Lunkers. The lurkers are here, but first lurker goes down, second lurker goes down, third lurker goes down as well. And now there are 0 lurkers. 0 lurkers. Now we can just commit. Unity Soldier just started stepping back here, forcing the army through the storms. And you can see Demi plummet in supply. He had 200, now down to 100. He lost 100 supply in a couple of seconds. As we mentioned, it's just that's super lying. I mean, GG gets called, and Unity Soldier, he does claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, Demi just had a really rough start to the game, winding it back. One of the reasons why Demi fell so far behind was the DT opener did so much damage, killing workers, sniping overlords, denying bases, or delaying expansions I should say, and containing Demi on 3 bases as well. So Demi, he fell behind. He was trying to recover. Unfortunately, he did overmake roaches. I'm referring to the moments where the infestation pit was on the way. If you remember, he was getting the infestation pit and he had a choice to make, but his hive was delayed because of the move outs. Unity Soldier didn't commit, but he moved out with his army, and Demi, he reacted by massing up roaches to survive, and Unity Soldier didn't even attack. He didn't even attack, he just poked in, pulled away. He pulled away. Demi, he was stuck with this Roach Ravager. It delayed his tech, it delayed the hive, it delayed his Hygiene, delayed his lurkers as well. Everything was delayed, and he was stuck on Roach Ravager. It wasn't just because of that move out though, it was because of the early game as well. Like Demi, who was trying to play catch up, unfortunately didn't quite get there. At the very end, he did get 3 lurkers, but they were focused on immediately. They were the first things to go down. So lurkers went down. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into our final series of the broadcast. Oh boy. We're getting into our final series. It is going to be YoungYakov versus UED Soldier. So just setting up the teams. Setting up the teams, updating on challenge as well. As we have our final series of the broadcast, it is going to be another ZVP here featuring YoungYakov and UED Soldier. Yakov, he is a stronger Zerg player, I will say that. Coming into this, Yakov is more favored in this series. I would have said that Demi and UED Soldier were closer in skill. Here, Yakov, he is, would I say, the best Zerg player in the CIS region? I think currently I do rate him higher than Wayne. Like Wayne, he has more accolades to his name. He has more of a history behind him. He's been a stronger player for longer. I would say for a long time, Wayne was, what, top 4 Zerg in Europe? Maybe top 5? Top 5. I'd say he was top 5 for a long time. But YoungYakov has been improving a lot. When I say top 5, ahead of Wayne would have been Cyril, Raynor, Lambo, and Laser, right? Those 4 would have been the players ahead of Wayne, and Wayne would have been 5. Currently, I do rate YoungYakov greater than Wayne just because Wayne has been less active. He's been playing less, practicing less, and you can tell in his play that he is more rough around the edges. Yakov has been committing more time. I would even say that Yakov is not just top 5, I would say he's top 4. I would rate Yakov above a Laser at the moment. A Laser has also been playing less StarCraft and has been focusing a lot on Age of Empires. Been focusing a lot on AoE. Age of Empires 4 specifically. So Yakov, at the moment, I would say he is top 4 top 4 Zerg player in Europe, and we'll see how far he can go. We'll see if UED Soldier can stop him as well. True. See if he can stop him. Let's go, as we're getting into our next game. We're getting into our final series of the broadcast. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the green Protoss player. The green Protoss, we have the Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is UED Soldier. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, himself. It is YoungYakov. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we get into our final best of 3 of the broadcast of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 16. And again, the purpose of this tournament is to feature these rising stars. Players like UED Soldier, like Yakov, like Jumy, like Baby Marine, and all the others that we have featured here tonight. Let's go. Let us go. As we have our initial probes scattered across the map. Likewise, Yakov is able to claim his base on location. And welcome once again to Oceanborn. Oceanborn is a map from the previous ladder map pool. It's been quite some time, but as we mentioned before, I'll say it again. The OSC circuit, the OSC circuit does feature an extended map pool with maps like Sandworm and maps like Oceanborn. There are 3 maps that were voted on by the players to be added to the map pool. They don't replace, but they do add. They do add to the map pool, so we're able to feature some of these other older maps or never used maps even. I say never used. Like Sandworm was used quite a lot during TLMC, during that period in time where all the tournaments were featuring Sandworm, and of course the other to be voted on maps as well, but Sandworm didn't make the cut, did not get into the map pool, into the ladder map pool. Here we go. From here we have our tech of choice. Hey, for the first time, standard open. Okay, sorry, I was getting into it, but yes, we have this time no Twilight Council. Against Demi, we saw Twilight Council after Twilight Council, but here up against, I'll say, a scarier Zerg opponent, UD Soldier playing standard, going Stargate. So Stargate opener into a third base, Oracle base opener into the mid game. So UD Soldier playing more standard. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, I'm curious to see how he approaches Oceanborn. If you remember, we spoke earlier in the previous series, we were talking about Oceanborn during the Jumy versus Baby Marine series, how aggression is favored on this map. The third base is more vulnerable, more open, more exposed because there's no ramp coming into it. And back in the day, we would very often see German taxis. German taxis are very common on Oceanborn, and that's going to be a viable option here for YoungYakov as well, if he wants to be aggressive. For now, Oracle's on the way. Now we're getting into our Oracle. UD Soldier now going to be expanding. He's playing this very safe. Typically you move out with the Oracle, but you can see he's keeping it at home. He's very paranoid about losing his third. I don't blame him. You can see that YoungYakov is active with those Zerglings, and basically he's waiting. Once the Oracle moves out, then the Lings move in. That's the plan, that's the goal, but the Oracle is not moving out. The Oracle's staying home. We have a second Oracle on the way. Here comes the initial move out, but I believe this should be lined up with the second Oracle. And now there's 2 adepts. Yeah, now there's 2 adepts to defend. UD Soldier should be okay. Oracle's revealed. Yep, that triggers the Zerglings. Yakov does hit the third. And he might get 1 adept, maybe? Looks like 1 adept goes down. He gets both. Okay, gets both adepts. Does get 2. Pulls away. Twilight Council follow-up here out of UD Soldier. That is a faster Twilight Council. Where's the Forge? Uh-oh. There is no, without a Forge here, this is looking more like Glaive Adepts. If you remember, we spoke about how going into Twilight Council openers are very uncommon, but Glaive Adepts are still seen very often here in ZVP, but usually as a follow-up after your third base, or after the Stargate specifically. So after the Stargate, you have a Twilight Council, Overlord comes in for the Scout, YoungYakov does see the Twilight Council, who does see the lack of Forge, and we have the Baneliness on the way. It's going to be a Ling Bane here defensively. Twilight Council, we're not going for Glaze, we're going for a Templar Archives. This is a little bit different. Okay, so we have really fast Templar Archives for faster Archon or faster Storm. Okay. And a little bit more delayed blink. So this is not normal. This is not a normal follow here for UD Soldier, so I'm curious. There we go, Storm, really fast Storm. Okay. Storm is being prioritized. Storm is on the way. Again, this is more of a unique build here from UD Soldier, and we'll see if he can make it work. Yakov getting into +1, so he's getting into Lingbane Hydra. I mean, Storm can excel. Ooh, but he does catch the Adepts. Both Adepts get caught. There's that Hydra, as we mentioned, again, Ling main Hydra out of our Zerg player. Storm can do quite well there, but there's no army. And Lings, they just get across the map. They're going for the pylons. They get one, they're going to get both. Nicely done. Gets both pylons. Even going for the gas guys. I mean, again, the DPS just isn't there. There's only one Stalker and one Adept. Some really nice pickups here from Yakov. Oracle's out of position. Nothing major, but nice time. This supply blocks UD Soldier. Does get supply blocked. Massive gateway explosion behind this. We could have gone for a 4th base, but UD Soldier's committing on 3. And we can see the aggression coming to him instead. Spurkin does pull away. Bane's ready for a run by. UD Soldier trying to cause a distraction. There's a distraction. Here come the Banelings. They're waddling in. And UD does he react in time. Storm on the Lings. Banelings, they roll on forward. They get another reaction. Oh, no response. Massive connections. And the mineral line goes down. That's every probe falling. 16 probes falling. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, no reaction from the Protoss. And behind this Yakov, he's just building up his Hydras. Building up his Hydras. Building up his Lings. Getting ready for another run by. Show us the Banelings. Here they come. And UD Soldier's all in. At this point, I mean, he was already going for a 3-base all in, but even more so now than before. Lings, they hit the mineral line. And one way or another, the game is about to end. Either UD Soldier breaks Yakov here and now, or he dies trying. Where are the Storms? Storms are coming in. Storms have potential. Ooh, Panic Storm. Yeah, Panic Storm out of UD Soldier. Ay, ay, ay. We gotta calm down. Better Storm towards the end. So better second Storm. But again, he's panicking. We're setting up for the surround, coming in for a flank. And we do have a flanking Storm. Banelings, they get on top of the army. Lings as well. GG as YoungYakov, he shuts down the all-in. He crushes the economy across the map, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Just a very nice setup there from Yakov, and unfortunately UD Soldier, he just had a late reaction to what was going on. He had a late reaction to the Baneling run by. He lost everything. He lost everything. He was crippled. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into our next game. With that, we're getting into Magnatha. Let's go. Getting into game number 2 here. We'll see if UD Soldier can tie things up and force the ace match, or if we take it here and now. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Magnatha, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss himself, representing CSO Esports. It is UD Soldier. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Magnatha, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. Players are setting up and settling in. Ooh, okay, so again, we had a quirky build out of UD Soldier. Unfortunately, I feel like he missed his timing, right? If you're rushing to Storm that quickly, then I feel like you have to hit as soon as possible. But because of the aggression, because of the map control, because of the run-bys of YoungYakov, UD Soldier, he was delayed, right? He was delayed, he was stuck at home. I would assume that on a larger map like Magnatha, we'll be going for a bit of a different builds. One that hits a little bit later, maybe one that's more defensive. One that's more turtly even, maybe. Still waiting for our tech of choice. For now, UD Soldier does scouts. Again, just standard opener out of YoungYakov. Hatch gas pool. Everything looking normal. So far. From here, UD Soldier, he does tech. There we go, we have a tech of choice. This is what we were waiting for. Stargate opener out of UD Soldier. Not going for the Twilight Council. Meanwhile, back at home, YoungYakov just claiming his third. So he'll be claiming his third base, joining up. A couple links do fan out. Again, the other game in ZVP is pretty samey nowadays. There are, of course, exceptions to that, like we saw previously tonight with the Twilight Council openers, but outside of that, it should just be Stargate into Oracle into third. To our third base. Whether we go for once again an earlier Twilight Council yet to be determined. Interesting position with the pylon. Okay, you have my attention. As I believe the plan here is to hide the follow-up tech. So this is looking more sinister than usual. As Yakov is just expanding. Both building up, Oracle's on the way. Yep, we do have additional gateways. And we have additional gateways before the third. No expansion. No expansion yet. Third base now going to be on the way, but more delayed. Getting to 3 gateways. Show us what else you got. There's the expansion. It goes down. With this, we will soon be able to warp in additional adepts. And that means we can go for a more committed at aggression early on. As UD Soldier is building up. Now moving up with double Oracle. 2 Oracles taking 1-shot drones, of course. Is going to be on YoungYakov to keep up. He's already got Spore in position, Spore in the natural, Spore in the main base, and Spore on the way at the third. So he's secure against the Oracles. He has the tools to defend. We have a safety Roach Warren at 430. So 430 Roach Warren. Stage Trust being thrown down. Ooh, lands. Oh my god, brutal connection as we did not focus it down in time. And that is going to be most of the mineral line. 2 queens as well. Very nice stasis here by UD Soldier. Ay, ay, ay. Stasis goes off, and we have a standard follow-up here, a Twilight Council and a Forge. I would say this is actually quite late. Typically, the timing for the Forge and Twilight Council is as the base is halfway done, but here it's being thrown down as the base completes. So later tech and later upgrades. He does have extra warp-ins. Remember, because that earlier third gateway, it leads into this. He has additional adepts. More than usual. This is, I would imagine, also why the tech was delayed. In favor of this move out. So we have 9 adepts, 2 oracles. As UD Soldier moves out, so Ling's there moving in. Uh-oh, and there's nothing to defend back at home. Meanwhile, full wall. Yeah, there's a full wall here at the natural. Lings, they collapse in. Queens add DPS. Oh, these Zerglings are getting out of hand. Getting a little bit out of hand. They do take down one of the adepts. The other barely saved. It's going to be 2 dead workers. 2 drone kills. The Lings, they're at least spending some of the energy on the shield battery. But no major damage from the adepts. And they don't get much done. As once again, YoungYakov getting into Ling Bane Hydra. Oh, sorry, he's getting into Roach Hydra this time. No Banelings. True. Was a Roach base opener. He's getting into his Hydras. Getting in. They get in, they get on top of the Stalkers. Nice drone drilling here from our Protoss. From the UD Soldier. Takes down the Zerglings. Does defend. Behind this is getting into Storm, getting into his follow-up. I'm a little bit concerned about lack of 4th base. Typically the Protoss player, they want to be keeping up here with their opponents. There is a delayed 4th instead. So no 4th base in sight. Yakov droning up. Steps. They do target down a couple of workers. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Getting up to 4. 4 drone kills. Once again, getting some damage done. Duty Soldier is just kind of falling behind macro-wise here, unfortunately. Again, he had just a very late 4th base. He's building up back at home, but he doesn't actually have much defenses here. He's warping in more High Templar, he has plenty of storms, but it's a little bit similar to last game, where we have all this storm energy, but we're not really making use of it here. Yakov, he's maxing out. He's successfully droned up to 80, 78 workers, 5th base is on the way. Yakov from here, he can max, and Duty Soldier, he's just lagging behind. I don't know if it's wise for UD Soldier to be active here. Not anymore. He's pushing into a maxed out army. Oh. I mean, storms have potential, that is true, but... How many Templar? Yeah, 6. 6 Templar. Storm zones away. He's moving in. Trying to come in from multiple angles. We're running out of storms. We're still, what, 3 storms left? Down to 2. So 2 storms remaining. Yakov is still maxed out. Started stepping in. Yeah, those are the final storms. Now we're morphing in the Archons. And Yakov just steps in. He steps in. And again, as we mentioned, UD Soldier should not have been out here. Didn't have the army for it. Does warp in a couple of High Templar. We have the energy overcharge on one of them. As Yakov gains map control, we have a massive drop load or doom drop being set up here outside of the main. We're going for the doom drop. They're coming from behind. Catching out a couple of the High Templar. Storms zone away. I mean, UD Soldier, he is reinforcing. Like, he's slowly building up his army. He has an economy to work with. He's not making any more. The whole position! Oh no! The whole position! Oh my god, massive connections. Gets a wave of High Templar. The whole position lunkers. Yakov. Ay, ay, ay. They lay the trap whiles. They connect. They shut down the prison. GG. And YoungYakov in one fell swoop does claim the series 2-0. Does advance on into the next round. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive fight there by YoungYakov. But even before that, as we were pointing out, like, we saw that, unfortunately, UD Soldier, he wasn't really probing. His 4th base was an afterthought. His saturation was an afterthought as well. Even though he wasn't losing any workers, he had a very low probe count, so didn't really have any longevity in that game. As the game was getting longer and longer, just didn't really have much to work with, whether it came to reinforcing the army or even taking up into Sky Toss or taking up into something greater. He was just kind of stuck with a mid-tier army and got caught out, got surrounded. Even if it wasn't for the lurkers, we saw that YoungYakov was trading very nicely and very well, but a flashy end there for Yakov as he does stay back, does keep his lurkers in hold position, catching out the army. GG. GG, well played. A fancy way to end it there for Yakov, and with that, congratulations. And with that, we have some updates here on the brackets. So let's catch up on what has been going on. Let's go. Let us go, as we do have our results coming in. Okay, from the top, we have concluded the first 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds of the tournament have concluded here from the very top. Oh, let us catch up. Interact. From the top, we have Nickrat. Nickrat versus Art is going to be the next series, I believe, played out next week in the 3rd round. We have Art versus Sebestes. So Nickrat versus Art could be a TVP. Art versus Sebestes PvP is going to be ongoing there. We have the potential Art versus Art matchup. True, we have the potential in the upper bracket. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we have Percival versus Moja TVT. We have a lot of mirror matchups. A lot of mirror matchups with TVT there between Percival and Moja. And scrolling down a little bit further, we have Baby Marine versus YoungYakov. That's going to be a spicy one. ZVT. Oh my god. Our favorite matchup to cover, of course, is going to be on the horizon as well. So we have these 4 matches that will be ongoing next week. Likewise, if you're a fan of any of these players that just got knocked down, do not worry, do not fret, because they are all here in the lower brackets. We have UD Soldier versus Hatsu, we have HonMonO versus Jumy, we have the winner against Jumy, we have Eba versus F2 Click, we have Sig versus Hydra, we have Inexorable versus Mindle, we have Shameless versus Mini-Zurich, Bappy versus Night Phoenix, and Mixu versus Demi. Oh boy. We have plenty of matches to go. Now, I don't know what plays first, the lower brackets or the upper bracket quarterfinals. I'm not sure which plays first, but one of these 2 is going to be next week. Either we start eliminating players, or we continue our run here to have our players advance on into the upper semifinals. Oh boy. But again, because there are so many matches, and you can see here in the lower bracket, there are so many rounds down here as well, it typically takes around 2 months. Around 2 months, maybe just over 2 months to conclude the tournament. Every week there is a broadcast. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's somewhere else. We just covered the first 2 days of the OSC Elite Rising Star Tournament, but again, when it comes to the following broadcast, they could be on another channel. They could be on Steadfast's channel, Chicken Man, Dave Testa, Wardy, or another platform, another channel itself. So again, shout out to all the other casters out there. Typically we do rotate, we do trade back and forth, and typically some of the other casters get involved when it comes to covering this event, depending on who's available, of course, depending on who's available. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. We are going to be wrapping up here for the day, but emphasis on the day because we still have more casting, more StarCraft on the horizon. Bam! As you can see here, as always, we are live twice today. We just had the morning Thursday broadcast. It's not actually on the graphic of the schedule, but we just had our morning broadcast. And as you can see, later on tonight, we have the podcast. That is our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. That's going to be at 7 p.m. KST. That'll be at 8 p.m. AEST. That's going to be in 7 hours. 7 hours time, we're live with the podcast. There's a lot to get into, when it comes to the news this week. Let's double check. I know that we have a bunch of announcements for the Maestros of StarCraft. Oh, true, we have some interviews as well. I have to catch up. With the interviews. We have a Rogue interview from EWC by the SE Historian, and we have a Lambo interview as well. So we have 2 interviews. We have an announcement regarding Nightmare leaving his team for Deadlock. So we have the official, we're going to be officially talking about that. We have the confirmation, the announcement of S2 Safe House. We already announced that like 2 weeks ago. We already made that announcement, but now officially announced is the S2 Safe House. We have patch updates for StarCraft Evolution. We have the Collegiate Star League that is ongoing as well. TLMC, true, we have some updates regarding the Team Liquid map contest, and of course we have all these other tournaments, tournament results coming in from the week's tournaments regarding patch tournaments, weekly tournaments, OSC events, and StarCraft Evolution as well. So there is a lot to get into. With all these tournaments. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Thank you for tuning in. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, later on tonight we have the podcast. Tomorrow we have the Sunny Lake Cup. We also have Lil League Cup as well. We have the Platinum Esports League. We have STC, SEL. But something that's not on the schedule is the Thermal 2v2 circuit. We don't cast it, but we do work behind the scenes. We admin, we run the tournament itself. a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure it runs as smoothly as possible. So we're going to be on that this weekend as well. It's a very busy weekend. Our sleep schedule's ruined. I typically go to bed around 6 a.m. in the morning thanks to the thermal circuit, so that's going to be the case this weekend as well. But look forward to it. Look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Let's go. Let us go. Let's have a look here. Who's live at the moment? I can see Bomyoja. Bomyoja's live. Esther Dave Testa is live as well. Enki. True. We could raid Enki. Enki is covering Little League Cup. Yeah, we'll give some love to Enki. I mean, I'm torn. Either Enki or Dave, because Dave is covering he's covering Patches tournaments. True. So we could give him some love as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Stick around. We'll raid someone. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in 7 hours for some more content, some more cast, or another cast, the Podcast. See you then. Papi. See you then. Hasta luego.